Welcome into a terrible football show, episode 40. I'm Alex Light with SparkE3. Hope you're having a phenomenal day. Whatever day you're watching, if you're watching this live alongside of us or watching after the fact or listening to it after the fact, whatever. We appreciate the hell out of you. We got a full house today. First time in like weeks. We got a full house. The new member with Jakub, Ricky, Shane is back at the start of the episode. Boys, we are here, the crew. A terrible football show at full strength. How we doing? How we feeling?
Families all together.
Yeah. Ricky.
I would have thought we would have been relying on the Dallas Cowboys and the Chicago Bears to top our football weekend off. What the hell, man? We're just going to sit here, lose to a Texas. I am dumbfounded. I am still, guys. Like, I have been holding this in for 3 freaking days. Well, hang on a second. Let me see here. Carry the 2, 4. Okay, 2 days. Anyway, so I've been holding this in for 2 damn days. We did everything. We outgained them. We should have outscored them. And then freaking KJ Jefferson to play Superman from the 5-yard line. He's 6 feet freaking tall. The last time I checked, the 5-yard line in is still 15 feet, so he still has another 6 feet to go as soon as he fumbles it off the 2-yard line, and then it's over with. It's over with and it's done with, and then I had to sit here and rely on the Dallas Cowboys.
That was your first mistake, was relying on them.
And you know what? I woke up. See, I went to bed early last night, y'all. I didn't even watch Monday Night Football. I was done with football after we lost to Texas A&M. Completely done with football. And then I wake up last night, and I had to let my dogs out. I sit down on the couch and I said, what the hell? We're winning this game. Cooper Rush. Yes! Go Cooper Rush, you Central Michigan bitch. Go, go, go. And we win the game. And we win the game. How about them Cowboys?
Yeah!
And you both picked against them.
We did.
I picked against the Bears too.
I am too. And that's the thing, though. That's the beauty of making picks, because sometimes we just have to eat our words.
Yep.
And you know what? But here's the thing, Alex. My Saturday was not near as bad as your Saturday. There's no way my Saturday was near as bad as your Saturday. And that's what I thought, man. My Saturday sucks, but Alex's sucks even more. Miami losing to Middle Tennessee. I mean, that was the tip of it. That was the tip of it. We knew Hawaii sucked.
Whoa,
we knew Hawaii was terrible. We knew Hawaii was. And then all of a sudden, New Mexico State, who we said was the worst team in the FBS.
That we lost to New Mexico State, from this point on, I don't give a damn what the spread is. Fade Hawaii all year long. They are the worst FBS team in Division I play, not even close. And look, man, I get it. We've had a lot. Like, I don't fault the staff that we have. We lost so much, talent due to transfers because of what Todd Graham did. But as of now, this year, worst FBS team. We lost New Mexico State. That's it. That's the top for me. That is it. We are the worst. But yeah, then losing Middle Tennessee was. It didn't shock me. Like, when I was messaging Tyler about it, it's like, I'm not shocked. I'm just disappointed. And that's pretty much how I felt with that game. That was something. But anyway, Shane, you're back. Shane, how you doing? How you feeling? Do you kind of feel the same way that Ricky does when it comes to that game?
Well, I'll kind of branch off from what you were just saying. Welcome to before Sam Pittman got here, welcome to the previous 5 years of Arkansas football. Not shocked, but disappointed.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's been my life as a Bears fan, okay?
Morris,
exactly.
Brett Bielema into Chad Morris, that was our mantra.
Yep.
We're not shocked, we're just disappointed. Like, anyways. But as far as Razorback game goes, yeah, I pretty much didn't watch any football leading up to the Razorback game. Just because I was doing shit at the house, I was busy, whatever, and I was like, you know what, I don't give a shit what's going on right now. I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna watch this fucking game, I'm gonna chill out. I regret that, because
I regret that. The only person who had a good weekend was Jakub with Ohio State. He's the only person here that had a good weekend.
He played Wisconsin. I mean,
at least they won. It doesn't matter.
At this point,
we're all catching these L's. At least he got a dub. At least he has something to celebrate. But you know what? Hey,
play your
listen.
schedule. I get it.
Listen, I will say this: the one massive positive that came out this weekend, and Ricky, you especially, I feel like are gonna also really enjoy this. The Jaguars are not the same old Jaguars, baby. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's go.
And I have been waiting for Trevor Lawrence to finally step up. And I was shocked. Guys, that to me was the biggest upset of the entire weekend, in my opinion.
I agree.
Who would have
I
thought
love
the
it.
San Diego Chargers at home, people? Like, remember, at home, we said San Diego, and I know Jakub was not here when we did our schedule predictions, but we said at the very beginning that we only saw San Diego losing 3 games, and it was to no one picked them to lose to the Jaguars, not a single soul. And so, just for that, that is a big step up. And I know Justin Herbert's not 100% right now. I understand that, but here's the thing. The Chargers defense is one thing that we were going to rely on this year because we really focused in more on the Chargers defense than what we did on their offense. Even though their offense, I still think they're going to be very, very good eventually. You're going to have setbacks, but that was a big setback. What was it, 38-10? I think was the final or something like that. I'm like, that is a 28-point loss.
And then blew out Indy last week too, which that's just Jacksonville and Indy.
And then you look at Indy beating Kansas City.
I know.
Yeah, could you consider that an upset? Somewhat, but a lot of people had high expectations for Indy this year. So that's why I still say Jacksonville beating San Diego in San Diego, the way they did it, biggest upset of the weekend by far. There's nobody else that's even close.
Jakub, you were going to say something?
Well, I was going to allude to the Justin Herbert not being 100%, and also the Chargers are becoming more and more injury riddled as we go on through the season already. Yeah. And
losing Slater is massive.
That had a deal. I mean, Rashawn Slater.
That's massive.
Huge.
Massive loss. Out for the year. So if you're tuning in, if you can't tell, we're very excited and heartbroken. There's a lot to chat about today. There's a lot to chat about. Oh, God. Make sure to join the Discord. Link down screen below. You can come chat with us as well. Give your thoughts on anything that popped up from this weekend, as well as check out all of our sponsors, which it's time. It's time. It's time. It's time. At least for the boys. I'm not revealing it to the world, but I'm going to catch the boys live reaction right now on A Terrible Football Show, episode 40 of the official SparkE3 A Terrible Football Show jerseys created by Agent Inc. This is just for the boys. I wanted to catch their live reaction. I got this back today.
Oh, yes, baby.
Oh, my God.
Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Yes.
Let's go.
Beautiful.
Let's go.
Absolutely beautiful.
I can't wait to show the whole world.
Oh.
I'll show the whole world when the shop is officially launched, because we got a couple other things that we're now working on. Now that this is done, we're jumping to the next thing. We're working on some shirts and hats for ATFS. Then we're going to work on some SparkE3 stuff as well. But yeah, the ATFS jersey, first thing on the list, is done, and I cannot wait to just reveal it to the world. I can't wait for the shop to launch. I'm so pumped to get this jersey in my hands. Man, it's sick. I love it. I love it. Agent Inc., phenomenal. I'm so pumped for this partnership. This partnership is going to be incredible for years to come with some of this merch that we have in the works. But I am so excited for that fucking jersey. I wanted to catch you. I got it earlier, and I almost sent it to the group, and I'm like, nah, I want to catch their reaction live. So
we have work uniforms now, gentlemen.
Yeah, there we go. You gotta show up in your work uniform. That's right. No, I can't wait. I can't wait to show everyone else the uniforms as well. Anyway, I'll go ahead and start turning down the music, and we can actually start diving into the show, which I feel like we've already started to do. I mean, there is a lot. There's a lot to digest. There's a lot of high reactions, a lot of things to kind of dive into. Where do we want to start, boys? We've already kind of touched on some college. We already started touching on some NFL. So which way do we want to go today? Which way do we want to start? Do we want to start with some NFL? We want to start some college? Where are we going with it?
Well, I just want to touch back on the Razorback game real quick.
Okay, let's get it. We'll start with college. College as a whole.
I'm still heartbroken. And I know Ricky is too, but I just
at least you lost to in theory a good team.
I mean, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, we were picked to lose that game by 2.5. We lost by 2. So whoever picked the points, Texas A&M fans still lost if they took the points, because that's hilarious. Anyways, so that's a bright side. Other bright side, I think still at the end of the day, we are still a better team than them.
I would actually agree. I would say you guys were the better team. You just weren't the better team on Saturday, unfortunately.
Exactly. Because I think as soon as KJ had that fumble and that dude made a great play by not even handing it off, other dude pretty much took it from the guy's hands and took off for the touchdown. One of the smartest plays I've ever seen in a live college football game. Absolutely ridiculous.
That was pretty insane.
Other than that, it was just I think after that it just killed KJ. I think KJ took too much blame on him. And then after that he just, I mean, you saw for the next quarter and a half, he could not get anything going in the throwing game. He was missing guys high, he was missing guys low, throwing it too far out, trying to do too much with his legs, trying to be the superhero. And then on the flip side of this, we had more passing yards, I believe, and then we had more rushing yards. We outgained them, like in the stats. We won that game. Only thing that we did not win is on the scoreboard. And on the flip side of this, I'm hearing all this fire Kendall Browse, fire Kendall Browse. Kendall Browse is still one of the best offensive minds in the game. The only thing I don't like, people don't say they don't like his play calling. I don't mind the trick plays, but there's a right time and a right place for it. And I think Saturday there was no right time to call those plays, especially right before Malik came in. I don't know if y'all watched the game. I know Ricky did, but right before Malik came to the game, I sat there and watched us get 6 runs in a row, 8 yards or more, right after one another. Bang, 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 bang. 8 yards, 8 yards, 9 yards, 15 yards. And then all of a sudden Malik comes in and we start doing these trickery plays and then eventually go 4 and out or 3 and out. So I think Kendall just needs to calm down and realize that, hey, we're getting 9 yards of fucking carry. Continue the fucking running the ball. I don't understand why you're stopping that to throw in these trick plays. I really don't. But that's my thoughts on that.
Yeah, see, I'm going to agree with you, Shane, because, like I said, I don't mind trick plays every now and then. He tries to do too much, and that's, in some ways, it almost sets up KJ Jefferson to do a little too much, which is why we lost the game. I mean, he did that one turnover, lost us the game. We didn't force any turnovers. Our defense only gave up 17 points, so it wasn't like our defense didn't play horrible or anything like that. We did focus a lot more on the passing game this week than what we did on the running game, which we did give up almost 200 yards of rushing. But at the end of the day, we still had a chance to win the game. Our defense gave us a chance to win the game. And so I really do believe that fumble, that really hurt KJ Jefferson a lot. When it comes to Kendall Browse, Shane, I'm in the same boat as you were in. I think he needs to start focusing on our strengths and stop being what we call too cute when it comes to playing football. Just run it down their throat. I mean, when we ran it down their throat, we looked like the best rushing team in the entire freaking country. There is no one right now that I will go and say this. The 4 teams we've played, I understand that Texas A&M defensively is probably the best defensive team that we have played so far. But I will take our rushing attack against any defense in this entire country, and that's including Bama, that's including Ohio State. I'm not saying that we could beat those teams, but I would take our rushing game and I would put it against any defense right now. I believe our rushing attack and I believe our offensive line, I believe that they're actually that good. But like I said, at the end of the day, and of course, Cam Little, I feel so bad for Cam Little. Cam Little is over 80% when it comes to his college career at Arkansas, and that was a big one. And you could see they were crying on the sideline. They wanted to win this game because they knew they were going to have more momentum winning that game going into Bama this coming weekend. Now, we don't know how they're going to look. Are they going to come out? Are they going to look flat because they lost a game? Are they going to come out strong? We don't know because this team for this year, this is their first loss. We don't know what to expect out of this team. And I like I said, it's not going to shock me which way it goes. Do I think Bama is going to beat us? Probably. Do I think we can make it competitive? Absolutely.
And I'll just kind of leave it on this, and we can move on. But I think for the first time, under Sam Pittman, at least for a quarter and a half or a quarter, I saw basically, if not the entire team, but the offense pretty much quit and give up after that fumble. And that was severely uncharacteristic of a Sam Pittman-led football team. Even that first year, when we were getting blown out, we were not giving up. You're still seeing people running the ball, running their routes, doing everything they can, and it did get to a point in that third quarter, especially that, right after that, we just kind of gave up. We were missing open tackles, and it kind of, I guess it kind of did bring on from the Missouri State game, but I mean, it got to a point to where it looked like the offense especially, but if not the entire team, just kind of gave up for a quarter and a half. And then finally in that fourth quarter, just kind of like, guys, like, we've done all these mistakes, but we're only down 14 or 11 or whatever it was. So still had a chance to win the game. Cam Little, feel sorry for the kid. But I mean, it was a given. At some point, he would have to have a miss like that. I think it's gonna help him in the future. Um, I think we're gonna come out Bama pissed off, in my opinion. But like you said, we don't know because we don't know how this team's gonna bounce back from a loss like this.
It's gonna be interesting to see how they're gonna bounce back. In my opinion, Bama's gonna whop the floor with you. That's my opinion. I could be very, very wrong because Arkansas does have that weird tendency just to play to the talent that they're playing. That's just one of Arkansas's things. We've talked about this. I don't know. I think with how the vibe has kind of went after the Missouri State game and now this game, I think Bama's gonna absolutely mop the floor with you guys. No offense.
But this isn't the same Bama team though, and I would
it's not the same one as last year. I agree.
But it's not the same one as last year. It's not the same one that they've had in the past. This is a beatable Bama team. I mean, this is the closest shot you've got right now. But you can't make the mistakes that we've made the first 4 games. Eventually, you knew the mistakes we were making the first 4 games would come back to you.
Right.
Y'all realize KJ Jefferson only turned the ball over, I think, 7 times total last year, and 6 of them were interceptions. He already has 3 this year in 4 games. I mean, that's not very good right now. So I mean, that's the thing. You've got to play toe to toe with them. And like I said, I'll take our running game. But here's the thing. I know it's our. If we commit turnovers, the game's over. It's over with. We cannot turn the ball over.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, the one bright side that comes from this game, I didn't see that many penalties that we saw from the first 3 games that absolutely was like killer penalties. I mean, I know all penalties are kind of tough to come back from, but there wasn't necessarily, the ones that were like, okay, that one hurts a little bit more than the others. On the flip side, if Bama does come out and just mops the floor with us like they've done in the past, a 52-10 game or something like that, I can see us losing, the next 3 games. BYU, and then unfortunately Mississippi State. Even though Mississippi State, they're a team that is one game they're playing like they're, top 3 team in the West. And the next game they're losing to LSU. So again, who knows? But if they come out and Bama mops the floor with us and like just beats us like a redheaded stepchild, then yeah, I can very well see us losing 2 of the next 3, or if not all 3 next games.
Jacob, it looks like you want to say something there.
I want to say something, but I think I
might
get
some
heat.
I
think I might get some heat for it. I might get some heat for it.
Get some heat, dude. Hey, listen. At the end of the day, regardless if we agree with each other or disagree with each other, Jacob, this whole entire show is not to hold back. It is to tell your opinion. All right. If I have to tell you to read between the lines, it's okay. At the end of the day, I'm still gonna love you, man. I'm still gonna love you. And what's the 5 for, man?
You guys are gonna lose 5 more games this season.
Oh, that's spicy.
Well, I mean, look at it this way, right?
And look at it this way as well. At least you didn't lose to Middle Tennessee.
If Bama comes in here, if Bama comes into Fayetteville and absolutely mops the floor with us, right? That's 2 losses right there. And then there's a very good chance that we lose to Mississippi State and BYU. That's 4 losses right there.
He might be onto something.
No, all right, so Jacob, I'm interested now. Okay, I'm interested in your Arkansas knowledge now. So we're gonna have 5 more losses. So which teams are we gonna beat?
Which teams are you going to beat, or which teams are going to beat you?
No, which teams are okay? I'm interested. You know what, which teams are going to beat us? Which teams are going to beat us? I want to hear this crap.
You guys are going to lose the next 3 games. That's guaranteed. And you guys are going to lose to Liberty, and you guys are going to lose to Ole Miss.
We are not losing to freaking Liberty. You are out of your freaking mind if you think we're going to lose to Liberty.
I'm calling it now.
I love it
now.
I love it.
You're out of your mind if we think we're going to lose to
Liberty money line, baby. Hammer it.
Out of your mind if you think we're going to lose to Liberty. Goodness gracious. Now, last year's team, I would somewhat lean toward that, but not this year's team. This year, they're not near as good as what they were last year. No, sir.
Well,
so we're not going to lose Liberty.
They only lost to Wake Forest by 1 point.
Losing Malik was a big loss.
They didn't have their best quarterback. They didn't have their best player.
like, look, losing Malik was a big loss, but that team does still have a lot of talent. That team has gotten a lot of top talent transferred to Liberty. So I mean, that could be a pretty competitive game. I mean, hey, look, we're making this argument, but at the same time, like, who would you take in a game? Like, and when I say this, I'm not necessarily saying just a win or lose situation. I'm talking like, how close would the game be? If you put this Liberty team versus Missouri State, how close is that game? Who wins?
Think Missouri State wipes the floor with them.
I wouldn't say wipe the floor. No, I wouldn't say that. Liberty's got talent.
I think they win by 10 points at least.
Well, that I could see.
That's not wiping the floor, though.
Yeah, I could see that. But the point is, I think Missouri State could compete with Liberty too, and Missouri State compete with you guys. So I mean,
South Carolina competed with you guys. Cincinnati competed with you
Carolina
guys.
This
loss was you guys only won by 14 points.
Yeah, South Carolina did not compete with us. That game was over at halftime.
No, real talk though. Shout out to all the people, myself included, that thought Miss South Carolina was going to make somewhat of some noise coming into this year. Spencer has looked terrible from top to bottom. Like, yeah. I just absolutely, like, I didn't expect South Carolina to be like, oh my God, they're going to dethrone Georgia. No. I didn't expect that at all. Even before Rattler went there, I liked what Beamer was doing with South Carolina. Like, for a solid competitive, bowl team consistently, right? Like, I think that's pretty a legit thing people can say. Even like last year, obviously they had the bowl game against North Carolina, great game. South Carolina came out with the dub, but like, Spencer has just been an absolute non-factor to like, okay. And at one point this guy was being talked about as a potential first overall pick in the draft. And now look at him. Like, I don't know. It's almost baffling with how bad South Carolina has been. Where they are just, I mean, at this point, Florida's 1,000 times better than South Carolina. And I have my opinions on Florida. I don't know, man. South Carolina looks rough. But, like I've already kind of referenced, you guys may have lost Texas A&M, but at least you didn't lose to Middle Tennessee. Like I said at the beginning, I'm not shocked. I'm just disappointed. Because it's like, I saw the writing on the wall with Southern Miss. I saw it then. Week 1, that's a wash. That's a wash up front. Like, it like that, Bethlehem Cookham, like, that is a complete wash to me. Like, yeah, we put up 70 points. Congratulations. You put up 70 points against a very bottom tier FCS school. Great job. Pat on the back. Like, when we were barely competing with Southern Miss, the writing was on the walls right there, where it's just like, I'm worried about this Texas A&M game. We didn't put up a TD against them, and now we come and lay a giant egg against Middle Tennessee. TVD looked terrible, which he's only looked good week 1 to me. He has not looked good week 2, 3, and now this one. We even put Jake Garcia in there, which is our other recruit that we got, I think, the year after TVD. I think he was like 4 or 5 star recruit. So we even put Jake Garcia in for a little bit. He went 10 for 19, no TDs, no picks. Meanwhile, TVD had the 1 TD and 2 picks, but I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on.
I think with offensive that game, at the end of the day, that was the definition of a hangover, right? I mean,
it feels like
you fight and claw to lose to Texas A&M like you did, and then unfortunately Middle Tennessee State just came in there fired up, to get paid for a win. So,
the only thing that I like that came out of this game is one single particular joke that I saw on Twitter that just absolutely killed me.
Before you say it, was it this one? Because I think I saw it too. I think you liked it and I did too. It was the one about the hurricane.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I loved that joke. I'm sorry I did. It cracked me up. So also, I should have mentioned this at the very beginning of the show. Just for the record, I won't be here next week. I'm going to be in Florida on vacation. So I've been tracking Hurricane Ian all week, like nonstop, making sure my trip is still good to go. And like when just filtering for Hurricane Ian posts to kind of get a vibe of like the pathing and just how, people in Florida are doing. There was one particular post where it's like, anyone that's wanting to get away from the hurricanes, I definitely recommend checking out Middle Tennessee because it does a great job at dealing with hurricanes. And I'm just like, damn, that is incredible. What timing of everything happening in the world to be able to make that joke. Oh, man. Also, shout out to Steve in the chat. He thinks Bama's going to win 48-17. We'll see this weekend. It'll be very interesting to see. But no, dude, the Middle Tennessee and Miami thing, that's just, like I said, not shocked, just disappointed. when it comes to Hawaii, New Mexico State, for that one for me, I'm just being a showman. I'm gonna ride with the bows, like let's get it. But I knew deep down like we were probably gonna lose. But again, like that's like the worst. New Mexico State is one of those teams that's held the title of like the worst FBS school, along with like UMass or UConn. Like they've all kind of floated in that same realm of worst FBS schools. Now to me, it's Hawaii. It's Hawaii. They're the worst. You can't convince me otherwise. UMass is Georgia compared to Hawaii. Like Hawaii is that bad to me right now. We can't do a damn thing on offense or defense. We've lost just so much talent, man. And it really just pays so much more attention to what Todd Graham created at Hawaii. Like, but Ricky and Jacob, before you guys ever joined this show, when it was just like me, Tyler, and Shane, me and you, we had an episode one week where it was just you and I, and we dove in detail over all the shit happening in Hawaii before Todd Graham, was, I don't remember if he was fired or resigned. I think he was actually resigned, but like a forced resigned. Shane, me and you dove into it then. Like the environment was there that caused everyone to transfer out, and now look where we are. It's going to take years for them to come back out on top on this. But speaking of Georgia, guys, how about Kent State keeping it somewhat close with Georgia? Like, I'm not saying Kent State was anywhere in that game at any point in time, but like the fact that they even put 22 up and Georgia was held to 39 honestly kind of baffles me. Like, is that more credit to Kent State, or is that just like, are we kind of worried about Georgia right now?
That's more credit to Kent State, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
more credit
my
to Kent
boat.
State.
That's my boat too.
I'm not worried about Georgia at all. I still think they're right now. It's much like that 2007 Bama team. It's Georgia and everybody else, in my opinion.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, of course, and if you look at their schedule, besides Oregon, and of course, we've seen how much Oregon has struggled so far this season. They haven't played anybody else. They really, no one has really gone toe to toe with them. I haven't looked at their schedule, but they have Tennessee toward the end of the year. I think they have Florida coming up here in a couple of weeks.
I mean, Kentucky coming up too.
And Kentucky's defense, guys. I know that you're going to root for Kentucky to lose every single game because he puts Miracle Whip in his coffee or whatever. But
disgusting fucker.
But at the end of the day, I mean, we'll see if Kentucky's defense can go toe to toe with them. We'll see.
And also to piggyback off what Shane's comment was, I would actually disagree with you right now. I understand the mindset that it's Georgia and everyone else, but in my opinion right now, it's Georgia and Ohio State and everyone else, and then Bama's behind them. I know rankings say otherwise, but like with how Ohio State's been playing, I would consider Georgia and Ohio State right now in the same realm, and then like Alabama being right behind. At least that's in my opinion, because I have been tuning into some of these Ohio State games. I know they haven't played like, and Jacob, obviously you can probably agree with me. You guys haven't played like the top end talent besides in theory Notre Dame, which. Yeah. Can you make an argument that they're not top end talent? But you guys have some big games coming up. But like the point is, like you're staying consistently dominant every single week, and that's one of the big things. Like at least that's how I view it. I view Ohio State and Georgia in their own realm right now. Alabama right there knocking on the door. That's kind of how I view.
I mean, I would definitely put. I mean, Ohio State's definitely the second best team in the country, in my opinion. As much as that hurts me to say, but at the end of the day. When Notre Dame, at the day of the game, we're like, okay, this Notre Dame and Ohio State team, they're going toe to toe. Like that game was close, from what I've seen from it.
How things have changed for Notre
Dame. But then now we see what kind of Notre Dame has turned into, right? I mean, come on now. So at the end of the day, I think besides this Kent State game, which even then, given what Kent State did to Georgia still had that game in control the whole entire game. So that's why I kind of put them ahead of everybody else. So for me, it's like Georgia, a couple steps down, Ohio State, and then a couple more steps down, and then there's Alabama and everybody else. But yeah, I mean, definitive. I mean, if you don't think Ohio State and Georgia is the top two teams in the country right now, you're out of your fucking mind.
True.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Georgia, like I agree with you guys. Georgia and Ohio State, top tier right now. There is a decent gap in between Ohio State and Alabama, and then there's just a huge gap between Alabama and teams like Michigan, Clemson, USC, because I don't even think Michigan should be in the top 4 at all after what happened to them.
Yeah, they played against Maryland, and that stayed very close, didn't it? Yeah, 34-27. Yep. Yeah, that stayed insanely close. See, the only thing that's really like top right now about Michigan is their running back. Their running back's been playing lights out every single week. But after that, it's like, they're just playing good ball across the board, but not enough to be considered a true contender. You know what I mean?
Their running back is literally being their saving grace right now.
Yeah, he
like if
is
he was not on that team, they probably would have lost 2 games already.
Listen, basically, he is what Kenneth Walker was for Michigan State last year. Like up front. Same equivalent.
Speaking of Michigan State's irrelevant now.
That is so.
They're completely irrelevant, and they're eating their money right now. They're thinking, man, we could have held up money and put it to somebody else, but nope, they wanted to give it to the coach that they had, and look where they are right now. And I'm just going. I don't know how many games they're going to win this year. It's that bad, y'all. 7 points against Minnesota, which
Minnesota beat the dog shit out of them.
Hey, Minnesota, look, Minnesota is much better than I thought they'd be, so far up until now. But 7 points?
I know.
And your defense played like that? Oh no, that's horrible. Yeah. That's horrible.
Yeah, and I knew coming into the season Minnesota was going to be probably the best team in the West, and I knew they were going to be top contenders for the Big Ten. Yeah, they had kind of like an off year last year, but a couple years ago they won the West. So, I mean, this Minnesota team outside of Ohio State is the next best team in the Big Ten, in my opinion.
I could probably agree with that. I mean, it's either as a team, completed team, yes. But just in terms of of where things kind of stand, I still got to go with Michigan because, again, that running back is literally putting the entire team on his back. But right now, as a total team effort, I would give it to Minnesota. Steve over here saying, sir, you leave Michigan out of your mouth. No, I will not, because we're stating facts that Michigan's overrated this year. And
it's unfortunate that we won't see Michigan versus Minnesota this year in the regular season, because I do believe that Minnesota's defense would just obliterate that run game.
It's okay. We'll see Michigan and Minnesota in the Big Ten championship.
Hey, yo.
It's not gonna happen 2 years in a row, buddy. They had their one and done in the last decade. They're good for the next decade.
Jacob, right now, I'm just talking shit.
Yeah, he just hates Ohio State.
At the beginning of the season, I said it clear as day. Ohio State could possibly win the national championship this year. I said it at the beginning of the season. I'm still going to stick with it. And I'll just be honest with you. They're still my favorite to win the national championship this year because, like I said, they're right now. They look, as far as consistency goes, they look the best.
True.
And I will agree. In a stint, I think right now it's Georgia and Ohio State. The only thing that scares me about Georgia is they have not and probably will not face an offense like Ohio State has. That would be the real kind of question for me, is how Ohio State's offense can go against that Georgia defense with how good they've looked. But real quick, I just want to kind of flip scripts. I know we have this on there, but let's talk about that. Can we please talk about this AP Top 25?
Yeah,
please.
Okay, Jacob.
Because we lose to a team that was picked to win the game. By 2 points, by 2.5 points, we lose by 2. I know you can't technically lose by 2.5, but technically, if you're favored by 2.5, technically it would be 3. But anyways, we lose to a team by 2 that we were basically picked to lose by 2-2. And how the fuck do we lose 10 spots in the AP Top 25?
It's because they lost to App State.
And that's the big key, because you look at App State. Had App State beat James Madison, we might have had a better case. But the fact that James Madison came all the way back, it was like 28-0 at halftime. Who would have thought? Who would have thought they would have come back and done that? But yes, it's because they lost to App State. But here's something else to point out. You look at where was it? You look at BYU. BYU, they're ranked underneath Baylor right now. And didn't they beat Baylor a couple of weeks ago?
Yep.
That's true.
And then you look at Utah. Utah shot right back up to number 12. How? How are you going to how can you justify that? There's no way you can justify that. None whatsoever.
I'm still pissed that K-State is only 25th, I'll be honest.
And so well here's the thing with Kansas State. Kansas State did have that loss to Tulane. And of course, that was after they had beaten the crap out of Missouri. They beat the crap out of Missouri, and then they lose to Tulane. So, so I kind of understand why K-State is still right down there, toward the bottom. I get that. But here's something else. I look on the outside looking in. Cincinnati's not even in the top 25 still, and they've been hanging that 26, 27 spot since they lost to Arkansas, and they're still hanging there. But right now, if you look at the votes, they've got Kansas ranked above Cincinnati. And as much as I love Kansas, and I really hope Kansas does, do very well.
Not the same old Jayhawks.
Because I love Kansas. I've always have, especially in football, even though they've always been an underdog. But
about to be the 2007 Jayhawks all over again.
The AP top 25, guys, is just a complete joke.
It is.
It's an absolute joke. You've got Oregon at 13. How?
Yeah.
How is it possible?
I think more so. Usually
Oregon at 13 blows me away, by
with
the way.
Top 25 in previous years, depicting a couple teams here and there. But right now, I think this is the first year I've not agreed with any rankings they've come out with since the season has started.
Yeah.
This entire season in the AP 25 has been a complete joke.
Well, here's something else, guys. I mentioned this a few weeks back. When Texas lost to Bama, they got put into the top 25 after a loss.
True. 100%.
I've never seen that ever in my entire life.
I've never seen it either.
And if I missed it, then that's on me. But I've never seen that. You're gonna lose and get put in the top 25. This AP is it's a joke. It's a complete joke.
I remember a few weeks back. I think it may have been the episode that just me and Jacob did. I think Jacob, that you were hammering then the AP is a joke. You're just waiting for the college football playoff rankings. And,
and even then, the college football playoff rankings are still a joke.
They are, yeah.
I can't wait for the top 12 because then there will not be nearly as much bias as there is now with the college football playoff rankings.
Right.
I'm actually going to slightly disagree with you on that because it's the bigger conferences that are still going to get in that top 12. So yeah, I will slightly disagree with that.
I will kind of go in the middle here. I think the college football playoff rankings are significantly better than the AP rankings, but I think it's really what they do is like they get the top 10 pretty much right, and then they don't give a fuck about anybody else. And then they just kind of throw people in there at that point. Because I think if they sit in the room for 3 hours, they're spending 2 hours and 45 minutes on the top 10, and then they're just like, okay, the next 15 minutes, okay, yeah, this team can go here, this team can go here, that team can go there. That's where I kind of agree with Jacob on that. But at the end of the day, the college football rankings is going to be significantly better than this joke of an AP poll.
And at least we get an explanation. We'll get an explanation of why they choose who they choose. And so, it's like, last year with the top 6, they told us why they chose, all these teams over Notre Dame, which they should have. I thought Notre Dame was overrated last year, and, I was right this year too.
I'm always in that boat of them being overrated personally. But no, top to bottom though, this AP is absolute. Oregon at 13 is the one that is the biggest one that blows me away. Utah at 12.
It's because they're leaving Utah and Oregon a slight window.
Mm-hmm. Hey, that window's about to close. When the Beavs
Oregon and Utah
beats Utah this weekend.
I mean, they're just trying to keep the Pac-12 alive with so much effort right now. It's absolutely ridiculous.
They have 4 of them in the top 15 right now. It's a joke. Washington, Oregon, Utah, USC. Come on, people. This is not.
And no, you can make more of an argument for USC and Washington.
Now,
Oregon and Utah.
See, now, I agree with that. You can make an argument for USC and Washington. And in my opinion, you can make an argument for Utah on the lower end of the top 25. You can make an argument for Oregon in like the 26 to 30 range, in my opinion. But for all of those teams be 15 and up ranked, that's just wild to me. That makes no
real
sense.
Quick, what about Ole Miss being at 14?
That's true.
I know they beat the shit out of Central Arkansas. They beat the shit out of Georgia Tech, who kind of played it close with Clemson. But I mean, then again, Clemson's not the team that they were. They beat Troy by 2 touchdowns.
They'll get left out to dry this week when they play Kentucky.
That's true.
Yeah, and then they beat a Tulsa team that's not necessarily that good by 8 points. So I think, I mean, this whole entire AP poll is kind of a wash, to be honest.
All 4 games that you just named are absolute jokes of teams right now, and they're ranked 14th.
And going back to Utah, guys, Southern Utah, San Diego State, Arizona State. What team screams, "Oh my gosh, this team is good"?
Right. Right.
And I still don't know how Penn State is number 11 right now. I'll be honest.
Their defense is pretty good. They're that's the thing about Penn State is that.
Also, before you continue, I want to shout out. I love the fact that you guys just point out Penn State, and Tyler literally just entered the chat.
Now
and
listen.
Also, what about NC State, man? Like,
get them out of there.
Whoa, come on.
They're top 10.
Get them out of there.
10, bro.
Get them out of there.
Big game this weekend. Big game this weekend.
They've had one bad game, guys. They've had one bad game.
They suck.
And if I
recall, come on.
And if I recall, hang on. And if I recall, who was it that counted them out? Who was it that North Carolina State was playing a couple weeks ago? Who was it that counted them out? Everyone. And I said they would win, and they did.
I mean, in defense, they only had that one bad game.
I wouldn't put them in the top 10. Would not put them in the top 10. But
I agree to that. I agree to that.
Three games in a row. They're about to get that L. 3 games in a row.
You know, I will say, as overrated as I think Clemson is, even though they did play a hell of a game against Wake, I loved watching that game. I do think Clemson's going to get that dub this weekend over North Carolina State. I hope I'm wrong, but I do think Clemson can get that dub. But no, that Wake game, did you guys happen to watch any of that? Because that game was awesome.
That was really
awesome.
The only game I caught anything from other than besides the Razorback game this weekend. And
bro, Sam Hartman is a fucking guy, I'm telling you.
They honestly should have won that game, bro.
Man.
Like, Sam Hartman missed a single read in that entire game, and it just happened to be in overtime.
Right. Man, that game was awesome. I love that game.
And hey, DJ actually showing that he can somewhat pass the ball.
Yeah, 5 touchdowns. That was crazy.
Yeah, I know. Like that's a change of pace.
But I will say this. There has been no worse play this weekend. Even there's one worse play that was even worse than KJ Jefferson's fumble. It was the fumble in the end zone for Missouri to beat Auburn.
Oh, for sure,
man.
For sure.
Man.
By far. There's nothing even close. Even the punt that hit someone's ass. That wasn't even that bad. I mean, or even Jimmy Garoppolo stepping in the back of the end zone.
Shout out to Dan Orlovsky. He's not alone anymore.
It wasn't even that bad.
Yeah, I'll watch the replay. Like, I was watching SportsCenter or something, and I watched like in regular speed, and it looked like at first, like from the angles they had it, like he had the ball knocked out. I was like, hey, that's understandable. But they showed it in slow motion and from a different angle. His hands were just too small. He just dropped it. Right before the line. I was like, dude, baby hands. Got to be better. Got to be better than that.
Also, since we mentioned Auburn, I do want to do a little segue into this. So we did, we were just talking about this last week after Herm Edwards got fired, is who would be next. You know, Jeff Collins out of Georgia Tech, or Harsin out of Auburn. Georgia Tech and the AD both canned. That experiment is finally over for Georgia Tech fans. Shout out to them. How long until Auburn cleans house there? I mean, next 3 games you got LSU this weekend, Georgia, Ole Miss, then Arkansas, Mississippi State. Texas A&M, West Kentucky, and Alabama. At what point does Auburn what point do they pull the plug?
I think if Harsin loses 2 of the 3 next games, he'll be out by that. Just say he loses the next 2 games, he'll be fired before the Arkansas game.
Do you guys think there's any chance he's fired after LSU? Like if they lose to LSU, is he gone?
If LSU comes out and blows them out, yeah.
If it's a blowout, I agree.
Yeah. If it's close,
if he gets blown out, if he'll get blown out, it'll be like Arizona State did with Herm Edwards. They'll meet his ass in the end zone.
Yeah, I saw that.
I said this at the beginning of the season. Missouri was going to be the worst team in the conference. They're not going to win a conference game. They're not going to beat Vanderbilt. They're not going to beat anybody. And then Auburn. I mean, they should have beaten Auburn over the week. I mean, if that Missouri player does not fumble the football, we're talking about 2 coaching firings this weekend. I'm telling y'all, it's going to happen. It's inevitable. They might as well just go ahead and get rid of it. They're not winning another game this year, guys. It's not happening.
I think if Auburn would have lost this week to Missouri, we would have been talking about who's the next coach of Auburn right now.
Okay. Tyler also throws out there Bama beating Arkansas by 38, and Arkansas gets that Penn State treatment and goes from highly ranked to unranked in 2 weeks. He also says after Western Kentucky, he's donezo. The fact that Auburn is 3-1 and we're talking like he's 0-4. That's a great point. That's how we are talking about this, but he stinks.
They played Mercer, for crying out loud. Anybody can beat Mercer.
That's true. That's true. And they let Mercer put up 16 points. That says a lot.
I mean, Arkansas probably they'd probably let them put up about 30, but that's okay.
Well,
I think I know that the next coach is going to be fired after this weekend if they lose.
Who?
David Shaw from Stanford.
That's true.
And I think they're going. I think he's gone.
Yeah, no, Ricky, was it you that said it last week that David should have left a long time ago, or was it you that said that at some point?
Yes, he should have resigned a long time. He should have went somewhere else.
Yeah.
When Andrew Luck left, he should have just went bye-bye. I mean, he should have. I mean, he could have.
Well, he had Hogan for a little bit too.
And he did, and I will give y'all that much. Yes, he did. And so, but yeah, David Shaw is definitely a good one. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the Coach's Hot Seat website, but there's actually a hot seat for the Coach's Hot Seat rankings. It's actually pretty funny because they have Jeff Scott from South Florida. It's inevitable that he's gone this year. They have Jimbo Fisher number 7 right now. Jimbo Fisher's seat's still hot. I mean, it's still hot, but we'll see as the season goes on.
I think he's pretty much secured his position for another year there.
I think he
has secured. I don't think so.
I think so. At least a year.
If he still pulls out somewhat of a 6-6, 7-5, 8-4 season, if they don't get to 9 wins, Texas A&M is still going to want that man's head. I don't give a shit what you say. They've been stuck in mediocrity for 10 years now. If they're still stuck in mediocrity after this year, they're still paying this man fucking $50 million a year, whatever they're doing, they're going to call for his head.
Texas A&M.
And I love how this website
never went below 7 games underneath Kevin Sumlin. And the year they fired him, I'm pretty sure they won 8 games that year. But I think they actually fired him in the middle of the season, but they still won 8 games that season. And if you look at the first 50 games, Kevin Sumlin won 1 more game than what Jimbo Fisher did in his first 50 games. And if you also, of course, you look at the SEC West in general, look at Auburn. Gus Malzahn never won less than 8 games, and they still canned him. So yes, Texas A&M is the richest school in the SEC. They have the richest boosters, and they're loaded. They will go out and find somebody else. And they will can Jimbo Fisher. If he doesn't win more than 8 games, I would say 9 games. If he doesn't win more than 9 games, he's gone. I mean, he's done.
That's what I was saying too. If they don't get to the 9-win mark this year, and is guaranteed top 2 in the West, he could be very well gone after this year.
The only thing that I think gives him any saving grace right now, and let me stress this before I say it. We're all in the same boat about this, okay? I'm not putting myself in the boat where maybe A&M fans or people at the top at A&M are thinking, but the only thing that's saving him right now is the fact that he got that unbelievably high recruiting class. And I know we still think even after that recruiting class they're going to be overrated and stuff. Like, we're all in that boat. We all agree. There is no disagreements here. I'm just saying from the top at Texas A&M, that's how they'll view things. It's like, well, at least this is coming. You know what I mean? We're going to have this.
The future is bright.
So that's the way that I think unless they completely drop a nuke on this season, Texas A&M, I think his job is secured for at least 1 more year, at least.
But let's face it here. With going off of what Ricky just said, they are not only in the SEC, but they are probably one of the richest schools in the country. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's face it. Me or any of us here on the show could go and fucking recruit Texas A&M. I mean, let's be real here. Money talks, bitches walk. I mean, let's be real.
Also,
I do love how on this website it has Pat Fitzgerald at number 9. That man is never leaving Northwestern.
No, not happening.
He will die before he leaves that.
They have to go completely defeated years in a row before they'll fire him up front.
Yep.
That's one of those prime examples of a job that no matter what you do wrong, you're going to be fine. And also, Tyler did throw one thing in chat. I don't know if it's accurate. I haven't looked into it, but Tyler did point out that apparently Jimbo's buyout's like $100 million, so he's not going anywhere. I have no idea if that's accurate. I don't know.
Mark my words. less than 9 games, Jimbo Fisher is gone.
I mean, I'll be here for it. I'll be here
less
for it.
Than
I
9
don't
games.
like Jimbo, but
he wins 9 games. I might give him one more year, but he wins 8 games again this year. Goes 8-4. No, he's done.
I'm gonna mark that down on my whiteboard back there. Episode 40. You just said that he was gonna be fired at the end of this season.
9 games or more.
If he's not fired, I'm gonna point at that board. It's gonna stay there the rest of the season.
hey, write it down. Look, take a picture.
Listen, I'll double down when we get to when I get into the new studio here in the next few weeks. I'll buy a chalkboard and I'll have it right behind me and I'll write down takes.
Chalkboard.
Yeah, look at our theming. You know, we're got chalkboard theming. Makes sense.
You need to get that chalkboard paint.
That just makes it.
That is true.
Agree.
I did think about chalkboard paint hardcore or like the whiteboard. I thought about that very, very hardcore. I want that record to be known. But yeah, I'll get a nice chalkboard display. All right, this is Ricky's take, marking that, and it's not coming off. You know, that's what we're gonna do. It's gonna be great. But no, any other thoughts on any college games this weekend? If not, we can go ahead and hop over to some pro chat.
Do it.
And yeah, actually, real quick, it's wrong. Jimbo Fisher's buyout is about $65 million once it's totaled up.
That's still a pretty big chunk, though.
Yeah, it is.
Like we said though, Texas A&M doesn't give a shit. I'm telling y'all, less than 9 games. If he wins less than 9 games, he goes 8-4, 7-5. You can write it down and take a picture. Jimbo Fisher's gone. And if he's not gone, I'd be surprised. Like I would be shocked. I would be more shocked.
Actually, I just got a correction on that. It's $45.6 million. And it's the highest buyout ever for a coach. No coach has ever had a buyout more than $45 million.
And that's something I don't understand. What is he? I mean, I understand he had one national championship, but I mean, look what he did to Florida State after they won the national championship. They went downhill. They're just now climbing back up.
His contract is worth $100 million, not the buyout.
Yeah. Texas A&M is officially ranked 8th on most valuable programs entering the 2022 season.
Who's number 1?
That is Oklahoma. Top 5 is Oklahoma, Texas, Georgia, Notre Dame, and Michigan.
Interesting.
Penn State's not up there?
Nope.
So with the screenshots,
Penn State's 17th.
So Tyler sent me screenshots on his contract. The main thing that's kind of talked about here is the university owes him basically every penny remaining on his contract. Is kind of the big deal here.
So I've got his contract pulled up too. 2023 this year he's gonna make 8.5 million. Next year 8.6, 2024 8.7, 25 8.8, 26 8.9, 27 he'll break 9, 28 9.1, 28 9.1, 29 9.2, 2030 9.3, and the last year of his contract he'll make 9.4. It's upwards of $95 million is what the contract is set out for. Texas A&M agreed to partial agreements in the SEC conference that inquires about $3 billion media rights within ESPN. And then it got the breakdown again with, 5 years ago or whatever, he made 7.5 and it's kind of increased from there. And it says prior to the agreement, as far as like the SEC media agreement, his buyout is $45.6 million. No coach besides Fisher has ever had a buyout north of $50 million.
Okay. Well, we'll have to mark that down on the takes and see what ends up happening. Which speaking of takes and seeing how it's going to happen, Shane, your take. And the little, random bet that I threw out to you that I'd give you $20 is still very much alive. That Kenny Pickett could be the starter here in like the next 2 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, Kenny Pickett, man, could be that. I mean, like dude. It's funny watching that Pittsburgh Steelers team right now because like you can tell where certain people are just already getting tired of. Like, did you guys see almost like the meltdown from Pickens? When he was just wide open, but Mitch is not even looking in that direction at all. And Steve also threw out week 5. I mean, true. I mean, it could happen the next couple weeks. There's a lot. I mean, you're losing to Cleveland, which I still think Cleveland has a good team around them, minus the quarterback position. I've said that all along, is that they've still got a good team. But like that's a game that Pittsburgh should have won 100%, but they just didn't. You know, I feel like it's coming down to Matt Canada, the offensive coordinator. And I still think it's just coming back to Trubisky, honestly. I'm still on the boat. I just think Trubisky is so stupidly overrated that it's unrivaled.
They need to feed Najee Harris more.
That is also true. They need to do that a lot more. You know, can't get that run game going. But Pickens is looking like an absolute beast. I will say that. That was an insane catch that he made. I'm assuming we all saw that, but that catch was absolutely mind-blowing.
Sure. If you didn't see that catch, you live under a rock.
Basically. And in terms of like just, you know, teams just like, you know, just not doing what they need to do. Even though the Bears won, the Bears still look like shit up front. And you know, I saw a lot of. Listen, they look like shit.
I don't understand.
They look like shit.
You have been dogging the Bears, your own team, even before the season. And I told you 10 wins, and they're already at 2. You said you could see them going 0-3 the first 3 games. Those were your words. You said you could see it, and you know what? They went 2-1. I think that's a pretty good start for
you
a
guys
Bears
are tied
team.
For the North.
I said you're going to get second in the North.
Look,
so, I mean, you know,
all we're doing is setting us up how we were a couple years ago when we were like 5-0 and we were the worst 5-0 team in NFL history. Like, I mean, look, guys, like, first off, I am a Bears fan, yes. And this is going to sound very hypocritical of me because I've been roasting Tyler nonstop for a week and a half about being one of the worst sports fans in history. But I want the record to be known, Tyler takes it to a brutal extreme. Tyler, you are one of the worst sports fans ever. I want that record to be known. But I was really hoping the Texans won this weekend because I really wanted Lovie Smith to get that dub. I really, really did. Because like
so close.
We never should have fired him when we did. Never should have done it. And I really wanted that dub, to get it for him more than anything. But like when it comes to the Bears, for me, it's the same thing that I've been harping on for 3 weeks. And I was texting my buddy Brady about it, who's been on the show a couple times, and he asked me my honest thoughts on the Bears, and I broke it down step by step. And when talking about Fields, my exact words were, I don't know if Fields is stupid or just shackled to the system. I don't know which one it is. I just don't. Because like every single week right now, it's the same thing. See, I think it's shackled to the system. I really do. Like, we are horribly shackling him to the system of go through your progressions because it kills me because, like, we don't even have a great receiving core. Our receiving core is mid as shit, right? It is. But, like, even though it's mid as shit, we are still getting receivers that are busting open routes and getting completely wide open for solid 20-plus yard or TD gains, right? But yet still, we're just going through the progressions and we're not just playing quarterback, like I've been saying. And it just kills me. Once we get to a point maybe this year, where we just let the kid play, let Justin be Justin, then I'll have a different opinion. But as of now, my hopes for this season, obviously, were already low. This season was never going to be our year. This season was going to be let's see what the team does, right? Let's see what this new regime does to build hope. Next year is when my expectations are going to go up. Because we have $100 million fucking dollars to spend in free agency, and we better spend it. Okay,
it's about time you guys have money to spend.
So next year, my expectations are very high going into the offseason. This year, it was always like, okay, year one, new regime. We went cheap in the offseason because we're saving for next year. Let's see the potential, right, of the rookies, these young guys and stuff. But I don't know. We got to figure out the offensive side of the ball. We got to. We've got a lot of good pieces in place. I like our secondary. Kyler Gordon has given up a lot of yards, though. But Brisker is looking phenomenal. That's great. Roquan Smith right now, to me, is like hit or miss, where it's like you want to be paid more than Fred Warner and Shaq Leonard. You want to be paid like $20-something million. But like sometimes you're showing it. Sometimes you disappear. You need to get that a little bit together. Braxton Jones, to me, is still playing well above what a fifth-round rookie should be playing at left tackle. So there's potential. But I don't know. We just need to unshackle Fields, and maybe we can kind of get from there. Let's see. Next up here. Guys, what the hell is going on in Vegas?
Oh, my gosh.
What the hell? Hey, Ricky, they're your second favorite team. What the hell's going on in Vegas, man?
What's not going on in Vegas?
The
I
offense?
think
Winning.
I think
winning. Only 0-3 team in the league, baby. Who would have guessed? Who would have guessed coming in to this year that Vegas would be the only defeated team right now?
so. As I recall, last season there were a ton of players who wanted that interim coach to become their permanent head coach, and I think they're starting to show it. I don't think they're really putting right. I don't think they're putting in that kind of effort for Josh McDaniels. And we all know what Josh McDaniels brings to the table. This is his second stint as a head coach.
Yep.
Because he was with Denver for however long it was. I can't remember. It's been so long ago.
3 years maybe.
They look horrible defensively. On offense, they look just as worse. It's just I don't understand it. It's like they have so much talent. They went out, got Devontae Adams this year, and yet they look flat. It's absolute garbage. Absolutely ridiculous that they are 0-3 to start the season.
I agree.
I mean, it's not like they've been blown out of the water though. Each loss has been by less than 1 score. So I mean, it's not like.
But they've been fighting down by 2-3 scores every game so far.
True.
All I gotta say, guys.
It's the Oakland curse. They never should have left Oakland.
Never should have left Oakland.
never should have left Oakland. I like that. I like that.
I mean, accurate though. Oh,
it's like us and the Jerry curse.
Oh, I know, man. You guys are cursed. I mean, Cowboys Nation, like you come out with a dub, but yet you're still just feeling like kind of. I feel like a little unsure on things. Is that kind of the same feeling? Because it's kind of like me. You know, we got the dub, sure, but it's at the same time, it's like, you know. Is there a lot to be mega excited about? You know what I mean? Like based on what your team put on the field.
I will say
absolutely.
I will say our defense looks phenomenal right now.
That's the big thing.
They look
for you guys.
pretty daggum good right now. If we had any kind of weapons on offense, I would feel pretty good about us going forward. But
what are you talking about? You have your franchise quarterback, Cooper Rush.
Hey, I love Cooper Rush. I've got faith in Cooper Rush. I really do. He's 3-0 as a starter. 3-0. That's more than a lot of other starters could say. But I just
do you want to know how many losses Cooper Rush has? 0. How many does Dak have? Like 36 or 46. That says a lot right there. Franchise quarterback.
That's true.
Franchise quarterback.
Maybe not yet, but we'll see.
Now, if he keeps playing like this and you guys stay undefeated, do you guys stick with the hot hand or you go back to Dak? Obviously,
stick with the hot hand.
Yep.
Look what happened to Tony Romo in his last year with Dallas. They stuck with the hot hand. Dak Prescott was a rookie. They had him and Ezekiel Elliott. Romo goes down. What do? They stick with the hot hand. You always stick with the hot hand. And then, of course, Tony Romo's final game, his final drive, he chunks it down the field, gives us good old glimpses of the old Tony Romo, and then he walks into the sunset. And as a Dallas fan, I'm sad he never won a Super Bowl. I think he was a good enough quarterback to win a Super Bowl, best in season quarterback for sure. I mean, if you're going to count him on in the regular season, then you count him on in the regular season. But postseason, you couldn't really count him on to really do much. And even past him, we still can't get past the first weekend of the postseason. So no, yeah, in my opinion, you stick with the hot hand. And going forward, like this weekend, we should get a dub against Washington. Should. Get a dub this weekend, and then we'll look at it going forward.
Steve throws in a chat the Rush revival is in D-Town. That is correct, and I agree. Stick with the hot hand. I mean, I'm a victim of not sticking with the hot hand. It was a few years ago. Cutler was hurt. We had a pretty solid team with us at that time, and that was when Josh McCown went on an absolute tear for multiple weeks. He had through 12 TDs, 1 pick, I think, over multiple games. And instead of sticking with the hot hand, we went back to Jay, which I've always been a Jay supporter. Let me stress that. I always have. But that was a time where it's like, yeah, you got to stick with the hot hand. And that's what you guys should do here as well. So Dak needs to watch out for his job there. I like the jokes that I've seen about that, especially from Mark Phillips with Supreme Dream, whatever, where it's just like, Dak, everyone's like, oh, yeah, man, this guy's our franchise quarterback. And, he's imitating Zach. He's like, oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, he's playing pretty good for, a backup. You know what I mean? Dak needs to be watching over his shoulder right now. Guarantee he puts up 400 yards and 3 tuds. Talking about Wentz, though. Talking about Wentz. Wentz is going to ball out on Dallas, apparently. I don't know about that one, Steve.
You got to look at this Cooper Rush situation in the eyes of Jerry Jones, okay? This is a great opportunity for him to save a lot of money by saying bye-bye to Dak Prescott.
And while you're at it, say bye-bye to Zeke, too.
We should say bye to Zeke last year.
I mean, let's be real. Cowboy fans and everybody else in the country, I mean, and has been wondering when the fuck is Ezekiel Elliott's going to get the fuck out of there.
Right.
I mean, let's be real. I mean, he's not the running back that he was, 3 years ago.
Now, granted, I will say we do need a power back. If we're going to move with Tony Pollard going forward, we do need a power back to complement his elusiveness.
Right.
Go out and get Mark Ingram.
Punch. That's true.
Okay,
Mark Ingram,
bro.
not really doing much.
Slow
in New
down.
Orleans.
Slow one. No.
What's wrong with Mark Ingram?
No.
He looked good in that Saints game. What are you talking about?
No. No. No.
He's a Heisman winner.
How long's he been in the league now? Like at least what, 6-7 years now?
Yeah, right.
A while. Yeah, a while.
Yeah,
he's a good veteran.
Okay, he might be. No. Mark Ingram. No.
That is a
gracious.
Jerry Jones kind of player, though. Just saying.
Okay,
Yeah.
He is. I'll give you that much, but no. We don't need to go after Mark Ingram.
Get
Goodness
Mark
gracious,
Ingram.
he's gonna.
All right, you have another option.
Okay, what is it?
Okay, you either get Mark Ingram or AP comes out of retirement.
Okay. Or what about
AP just got knocked out, though. You sure he's coming?
What about a guy that's been sitting at home for 2 years, still staying in shape, and at one point led the league in rushing, and Todd Gurley?
No. That man is wild.
If you ever speak that blasphemy ever again, sir. Oh man, I want to throw up now, guys. Excuse me.
Come on, man. Gurley would look great in a Cowboys jersey. He looked phenomenal. What about Le'Veon Bell then? He's staying in shape. He knocked out AP. You already threw out AP. Let's throw in Le'Veon Bell over at it.
No, AP is leagues above Le'Veon, man.
I would rather go get Darren McFadden in his old age out of retirement than have Le'Veon Bell.
Come on now. I almost choked at Gurley, says Steve. Hey, look, man, that's a Jerry Jones level signing right there, man. I'm telling you. It is.
It's already hard enough to be a Dallas Cowboy fan. You have any idea how close over the years I have been to say, you know what, screw it, I'm done. I'm going to find another team. And yet here I am. I am still. Hang on. Before you go in, hang on. But hang on now. Before you go anywhere else, I have still stuck with my Cowboys. I'm still going to stick with my Cowboys. However. Now I know this is a football show, but if
there
you look
shouldn't even have been a however in that sentence. I don't know moving forward with it.
Because you just have to look at the situation.
Oh my!
No.
Situations are situational.
We have been in way worse situations than we are now. Way worse.
When Dak was injured 2 years ago?
Well, yeah, when we had Andy Dalton, who should have been a better quarterback than what he was.
That's true.
But
that was but he wasn't. That was 2 years ago. And of course, like I said, that season sucked. We know that season sucked. But I'm talking about
Ben
getting
DiNucci is
players.
starting in a game, whenever Ben DiNucci is passing in a game for us. That's that's down bad.
Yes, but other than that, have we had that many down years? I do not remember having a worse year than when Andy Dalton was our quarterback. I don't remember it because it's like when you watch them, you could tell they weren't even trying to block for Andy Dalton. Like, here he goes, sack him, put him into retirement, because that's exactly what it looked like when I watched it. So no, I mean, I'm talking about There's a certain thing you do not do when it comes to professional sports in general. You look at my Los Angeles Lakers. I know this is a football show, but I want to bring up something right now. You look at my Los Angeles Lakers. Ever since they brought LeBron James in, I'm done with the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm completely done with it because one championship, and then all of a sudden we have 3 losing seasons with them. Like, come on, man. No, I'm done with it. No.
You know, listening to all this chat about, your Cowboys and like the situation you're in, and you can't think of another worse situation than when Andy Dalton's your quarterback. Just listening to all of this right now, the only thing I'm sitting over here is just like crying in Chicago Bears fans, crying in Jacksonville Jaguars fans. Life's so hard, guys.
When you're used to winning, that's just how it works.
Yeah, winning my ass.
Okay. When was the last winning season that? How many winning seasons has Chicago had after they fired Lovie Smith?
At least 2018, because that was when we went 12-4. 2020, we went to the playoffs. Shockingly, fired Lovey. I think it was 20 after the 2012 season, so 2014 season we had a winning season. That's the only 3 that I can think of.
Okay, I was wondering. Yeah, we're just.
I know I have a fellow Cowboys fan on this podcast, which I love near and dear to my heart. I absolutely love that. But the fact is, you have the audacity to bring up the LA Lakers in my presence is completely asinine.
Now, hang on a second. I became an LA fan because of one Kobe Bean Bryant, and there is no other better player. Now, I'm not saying better player, but he was my favorite player in the entire world. I became a diehard Laker fan because of Kobe Bryant, and a little bit before. I don't know why you feel bad for me. I still don't know why he's still a top 10 of all time and the greatest all time.
I'm not talking about Kobe. I'm just saying specifically being a Lakers fan. But
dude, I'm telling you, man.
As a Celtics fan,
hard.
I agree.
I'm telling you.
I'm sorry.
I'm telling you, it is very, very hard being a Laker fan post Kobe Bryant. It really was. And I'm done with the Lakers.
I understand. I actually understand that statement you just said. I understand where you're coming from because it was harder than hell being a Maverick fan after Nowinski went away. But
you got Luka now.
We have Nowinski Jr.
Yeah, you're rocking with Luka. You're having a great time right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So 3 more games for NFL that I do want to kind of point out here. Number 1, Buffalo and Miami. Number 2, Baltimore and New England. When the hell is the Ravens going to pay Lamar Jackson? And lastly, let's actually start with this one so he can get a chance to chat with his team. Shane, what the fuck is going on in Denver?
Let's ride. Move on.
No, come on. What is going on?
Peyton Manning himself said that they should have taken that $200-something million and give it to the punter.
That was Eli. That was Eli.
It was Eli.
That was Eli.
I thought it was Peyton that said that. My bad.
Broncos country, let's ride with those 11 points.
Yeah, exactly. Let's ride.
I forgot who it was. I forgot who it was, but I was watching ESPN at some point, at some time in the last 2 days or whatever it is, and I forgot who it was, but he said that Russell Wilson is an actor playing a football player, and I 100% agree. I don't know what has happened to him in the last 2 to 3 years, with him, anyways. I know I'm got sidetracked there for a second, but yeah, I mean, in the last 2-3 years since he's been with Sierra, I know, no offense to Sierra, what they have with their relationship, I'm happy for them, whatever. But on the football side, it's been terrible. I mean,
he has 2 touchdowns this year so far. In 3 games, he has 2 touchdowns.
And don't get me wrong, I know his weapons aren't like top tier. I mean, Sutton's not bad. Judy is meh. But like, still, you should. I mean, I feel like
that's a hot take.
No, in my opinion, he's got a lot better receiving core than the Bears have.
I mean, that's accurate. I'm not denying that at all. But my point is, like,
Cole Kmet.
My point is, even with that receiving core, like, he should have more than 2 TDs. Like, is it Russ? Is it Hackett? Like, what's going on? I don't know. Like, out there, Hackett can't tell time.
I think it's both Hackett and Wilson.
I think right now it's like a 60-40. Hackett and then Russ.
Yeah, I mean, right now I think it's more. I mean, it's got to be. Of course, it's got to be on Hackett, right? First year coach doesn't necessarily have the players that he wants. Yada yada. But at the end of the day, like, if this was Russell Wilson, just imagine if Russell Wilson was how he was his first 3-4 years coming into Seattle on this Denver team. Would it be any different?
No.
Exactly. No. And so, I mean, I know that's kind of a large thing to kind of scale, but I mean, that just kind of fits for what this Denver team is looking like right now in total. I mean, it's not a good team. I mean,
I'll be honest, the Denver front office didn't even think about Russell Wilson. in the list past offseason.
They wanted A-Rod, 100%.
Yep.
No, for sure.
And A-Rod chose money.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. And on the flip,
over a potential Super Bowl.
And on the flip side of those things, you know, I'm actually shocked how I'm not necessarily shocked at Denver at this point with how they've done, but I am shocked with how San Fran kind of laid an egg in that game too, as well. But you know, I'd say give it a few more weeks. You know, give it a few more weeks and let San Fran get the balls rolling with Jimmy G back completely. And I feel like we'll see a different San Fran team. But as of now, that did kind of shock me with how they kind of laid an egg personally. But yeah, with the Baltimore thing, how much longer until the Ravens need to pay this man? Like legit, like when is this
until Lamar's not labeled a running back?
I feel like that's already done. He's leading in every passing category. That's done in my opinion.
He's not worth the money. He puts himself into too much harm.
Now that's fair.
To give him a big contract.
I mean, I'm not necessarily agreeing with that, but like at the same time, like this man is completely balled out as a quarterback. You know, this year, like that's what he is looking like an MVP favorite right now with how he is playing at quarterback, not as a running back. Like his stats are insane. This dude's putting up some serious numbers.
And they also need to make the AFC Championship game.
Now that is true.
Well, I mean, I think one of the things, guys, that we need to look at the Baltimore Ravens right now is how depleted they look on defense. They look absolutely terrible on defense. I think they're giving up the most. I believe they're giving up the most points in the NFL right now through the first 3 games. I'd have to go back and check that stat, but yeah, I'm pretty sure they're giving up the most points in the first 3 games so far.
They're tied for 8th in the league.
Okay. So
I thought they gave up. Didn't they give up like 40-something points to Miami?
But on average, it's 25.7.
That's still quite a bit for the NFL, though.
Yeah, that is still quite a bit. I don't know, man. I don't feel like it can go much longer. I feel like we'll get a contract extension here in the next few weeks, honestly. That's kind of my current prediction, but we'll see. He's representing himself, so
I don't know.
May not take the time for it.
That's the thing. When you represent yourself, it's like going to court.
Yeah.
You never represent yourself going into court. It's the same way when you're dealing with a contract. There's a reason you have an agent. There's a reason you have someone to go in there and back you up. It's because these agents are trained. They know how to negotiate. They know the ins and outs of it. And that's just the biggest thing right now. I understand the whole point of not want to pay an agent because, I mean, that is a good chunk of your paycheck that's going to go to an agent. Usually it's like, what, 10%? Or depending on whatever the agency it is. Usually the norm is, I think, is 10%. But at the same time, it's like, okay, you tried it by yourself. It's time to buck up, get you an agent, go after someone really good because you're a really good player, and see what happens. But if you look at history tells you quarterbacks like him do not last very long. So if you're going to give him whatever the heck the quarterback situation is, $40-50 million a year for the next 4 or 5 years, and he does happen to have a career-ending injury, that's $200-something million plus that program is going to have to eat up, and that's hard to do.
That's true. That is true. I mean, it's ultimately a big gamble, but they're at a state now of do they want to pay the man or let him walk and get paid somewhere else and still be a superstar? That's where we're at.
There is a reason why Jerry Jones made Zeke Elliott wait such a long time, and then he didn't want to do it, guys. He did not want to give him that money. He just didn't want to. He thought it wasn't worth it. Well, then he gave in the long run because our running game looked absolutely horrible without him. And then what happened? We pay him. He comes back. He looks like absolute crap. True. So I mean, it just and then of course. You can even look at Dak Prescott's situation. Last year, he looked really, really good. Give him that much. Looked really, really good. And high expectations this year. Week 1, $40-something million a year quarterback, lays an egg in week 1. Didn't even score a touchdown. So, I mean, yeah, there's gives and takes with everyone because it's the NFL. But I'm just going to be honest with you. I would not have paid Dak that much money, and I wouldn't pay Lamar Jackson. I wouldn't pay him $40-50 million a year. I wouldn't risk that. That's ridiculous. But there's somebody out there that's going to risk it. Somebody will risk it.
I mean, yeah, look at what Cleveland did with Watson. There's going to be someone that's going to risk it. It's going to be matter who.
And that is exactly why Lamar Jackson does not have a contract yet, is because of that the contract that the Cleveland Browns gave Deshaun Watson. They gave Deshaun Watson, a guy who had not played a down in the NFL in over a year, $50-something million a year. And that's where he's been working his butt off. And I know he got injured at the end of the year last year, but 2 years ago he had an MVP top season, and He feels like he deserves it. They're like, look, you're gonna give somebody who hadn't played a snap 50-something million. He still hasn't played a regular down for the regular season. And of course this year he didn't get that much, but I'm talking about in the long run, he's still gonna get that money. So no, I mean it's a risk. It's a risk, and like I said, Baltimore's defense looks depleted right now. They have so many other issues right now than quarterback.
I could agree to that. They do have a lot of issues in that team right now. No, it'll be interesting to see what the Ravens going to end up doing if it does last all year long, where he just rides out the contract after all, and we'll see how it goes in this offseason. It's going to be a storyline to follow for a while because they're just going to tag him. They're going to tag him a couple times, kind of like Washington did with Kirk Cousins before they finally split ways. I mean, it's going to be the same thing. They're just going to keep on tagging him, and he's going to get a lot of money that way. All right, last NFL game let's chat about, then we get over to some picks. Buffalo and Miami. So I am kind of curious with how this game went, because even like when me and Brady were chatting about things, he also asked me my thoughts on Tua. What are you guys' thoughts on Tua? Is this guy legit, or do you think it's just because of the pieces around him? Because I think it's the pieces around him. I really do. If it wasn't for Hill, Waddle, and Mike McDaniel as the head coach, I don't think Tua would be what he's doing right now. That's my opinion up front.
I would agree with you on that. Also, I think that the Dolphins might be in some trouble. I do think that Tua didn't actually pass the concussion protocol. I mean, you saw.
Well, they said it was apparently
as a person who's had numerous 7 concussions in his lifetime. That man had a concussion. There's no way, shape, or form that man did not have a concussion with how he waddled off the field.
They're trying to play. They tried saying it was a back injury, is what it was, and like they're like whatever
head injury.
That's how they were trying to play it off, was a back injury. That whatever got tweaked in his back was messing with his ability to walk at that time.
They were trying to secure the win.
Yeah, and
they knew they weren't going to be able to do that with Teddy Bridgewater. So they sent Tua back out onto the field. They will get in some severe trouble for that.
True, because an investigation is now being opened where they're going to confirm, like, hey, was this actually a back injury? I think that was a straight concussion. You can't convince me otherwise than that. But they're trying to play it off as a back injury. That he tweaked something in his back and just kind of messed with his ability to walk, almost in a way of like, it's like one of those situations where like your foot or leg's completely asleep and you jump up real quick and you just almost fall, whatever. That's the way they're kind of trying to play it off, is that whatever he got tweaked in his back when he hit the ground was just kind of messing with his ability to walk. But no, that was a concussion to me. Like I think like legit, like he did the first stumble and got up, like, but when his teammates held him, I'm not joking. I think he was legit passed out when his teammates were holding him. Like I really do. I think the dude was passed out standing up on the field right there.
Yeah, he had to catch himself from falling over.
Yeah.
There's no way. But to go back to your original question, Waddle and Hill, those two are the offense for the Dolphins.
I also want to give a ton of credit to Mike McDaniel too, because Mike McDaniel is doing such a phenomenal job with this team, to the point that it's now raising questions around the league. Who was the actual genius in San Fran, Mike McDaniel or Kyle Shanahan? Because of how different that San Fran offense has looked, run game and everything. It's just drastically looked different, even though they have some of the same pieces. They lost a couple of backs too, Mike McDaniel in Miami, but a lot of the same pieces, and it's just a drastically different team. Who was the actual genius? Or I want to give a lot of credit to McDaniel. He's doing phenomenal 3-0.
I mean, let's be real here, right? If we're not gonna take, a quarterback, if we're gonna be like, say, hey, he's a good quarterback, he just doesn't have the pieces around him. How can we fault Tua and that coach? How can we fault them for having the pieces around him and making him better?
Yeah.
So I mean, I agree. I mean, I think Tua still deserves a starting quarterback position in the league, but is the pieces around him making him elevated? 100%. But you can't fault him for that. That's what his coaches did and his front office did to put him in that position. That's why they're sitting at 3-0 right now. Now on the flip side, I think they're going to be in very, very big trouble when it comes to this, because I do agree with y'all as far as that was definitely a concussion, and that man looked like he got knocked out by Mike Tyson when he tried to stand up, and he had them noodle knees like a newborn deer.
Yeah. Just collapsed. Yeah. No, that's gonna be a situation to watch straight up.
And I just, and I'm just gonna go ahead and throw this out there because we've said this a couple of times today. The better team lost the game Sunday. By far, it wasn't even close.
It was Buffalo, yeah.
Like you could look at the yardage. I think Bills had like 500 yards with the offense. It was ridiculously insane.
90 offensive plays is what
it was. 90 offensive plays. Lord have mercy.
Yeah,
it's Miami's defense. Miami's defense has stepped up when they needed to in the first 3 games this season.
Yeah, they have, but except for when it comes to this game, is that Buffalo just had that time possession. Again, 90 offensive plays. That's an unbelievable amount. I was listening to like Pat McAfee show and a couple other things where it's just like you want to try to aim for like 50 offensive plays if you're a defensive player. Like, that's the role that you want to try to hold the other team to. But 90 offensive plays, especially in that heat, is insane.
Yep.
And Tyler also points out 6 defensive starters out. True, their whole secondary was completely different. Like they didn't have any of their all 4 of their starters. And also shout out to was it Tyler? Is it Poyer or Hyde? One of those 2 is out for the year. Big T's and P's there. I don't know.
It's Hyde.
Yeah,
Hyde's out for the year.
That's a big L on that one. Joshua ran 1 less time than our starting running back. True. He does not need to pass 63 damn times. True. He does not. But that's just what they got because they don't have a run game. The run game is non-freaking existent.
No, what's funny was Devin Singletary was the leading receiver on the Buffalo team.
Yeah. Also, Tyler also pointed out he did not know Teddy B was the backup in Miami. I sometimes forget that too, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, if worse comes to worse, they've got a quarterback in Baltimore looking for a contract.
That's true. Hey, he would like to go down to Miami. Yeah, that's one of his preferred destinations. I think he's from the Miami area.
Miami Beach, baby.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Any other thoughts on any NFL games? If not, we'll go ahead and start looking at some predictions.
Let's look at predictions. Let's do this.
Actually, before we do that, just because I simply have it in the title right now, but I'm going to take it out of the title since we haven't chatted about it. Any thoughts on the Pro Bowl you want to shout out there?
Finally.
Finally.
I mean, that's pretty much it. Yeah. Finally.
The only thing I would tweak up is let them play a different sport like baseball and see if they can do anything.
That would be kind of funny. I'd be here for that. I'm here for whatever they're going to do. As long as the game goes away, I'm here for whatever they're doing.
Yep.
But I'm going to take that out of the title because we are an hour and 30 in and just now chatting about it. So, fuck, I got to take that out of the title. All right. We'll look at some predictions finally, get to that point. Let's go ahead and hit the music now. We'll play it through the entire segment. All right, cool. So first we'll look at the standings for college football. Tyler is sitting at the top right now, 43-22. Ricky, you're in second with 38-27. Me, Steve, and Shane all tied for third with 37-28. Jacob, you're sitting it right behind us at 36-29. Iggy 34-31 and Brady 31-34. All kind of went the same this past week too. Jacob, Ricky, and Tyler all went 11-9. Me and Shane 10-10. Brady 9-11. Same with Steve and Iggy 7-13 there. So with the predictions, let's jump into some games, shall we? Let's start doing some actual calling here. All right, kicking things off for a couple Friday games. UTSA at Middle Tennessee. How we feeling, boys?
UTSA is a very tough team, and we did see Middle Tennessee State coming off a hot win. UTSA, though, I think they've been in 2 different overtime games. I'm going to take Middle Tennessee State.
Riding the high from the Miami game. That's fair.
Yeah, give me the Blue Raiders in this one.
Yeah, and I'm going to agree. I've been a big fan of UTSA ever since last year. They had an amazing run. They kind of let me down this year to start off the year. So yeah, I'm going to go in Middle Tennessee. I'm
going to lock in Middle Tennessee as well for that exact same reason that Shane said. I like this team a lot coming into this year, and they have consistently let me down. Next up, 15th ranked Washington going and visiting UCLA. That's going to be in a completely sold out arena. Who we going with here? Give me Washington. Give me the Huskies. I had to throw some dirt in the aisle on that one.
Washington should win this game.
Yep.
Would not surprise me if UCLA somehow magically turns this into a ball game. Washington's the better team. Washington should win this game.
I agree that Washington's a better team, but I think UCLA will put up a bit of a fight. They are 2 undefeated teams coming in here, and it is at home for UCLA. I think it'll be closer than what most people would think, but I do think the Huskies get it.
UCLA barely beat Georgia State.
Go ahead.
UCLA barely beat Georgia State.
Give me the future Pac-12 champs for the year, Washington.
Yeah, Washington as well. Wake Forest and fuck Florida State. You know my pick. Let's go.
Wake
Sam
Forest,
Hartman.
move on.
Yeah, Wake Forest. I like Shane's answer. Ricky.
This one is very tough for me because Florida State has actually done a whole lot better this year than what I expected. But ever since Wake Forest got their big QB back, and I know that they lost to Clemson last week, but Wake Forest does have the hot hand offensively. I'll pick Wake Forest.
There you go. Good pick.
I'm picking the Seminoles. Sorry, boys.
Wow. I cannot believe you.
Trust me, Jacob. I wanted to. But oh man.
All right, next up, NC State at Clemson. Big ACC matchup right here, boys.
I want NC State to win this game.
Me too.
But I also, on the flip side, want to see DJ build on what he did last week against Wake Forest. And for that reason, I think he will. I think NC State's overrated a little bit. I don't know how that defense is going to go with against DJ and those weapons that he has. So I'm going to go the Tigers.
Yeah, this is going to be a blowout.
The Tigers.
This is going to be a complete blowout. Clemson's going to win this one.
Ooh, blowout.
Hmm.
I wouldn't go that far, but
I don't know if it's going to be a blowout, gentlemen. Let's see here. Clemson's offense is much better, obviously. I think statistically, if you look at statistics, North Carolina State's defense is a little bit better. Clemson has looked a lot better over the last couple of weeks. So for that reason, I'll go Clemson.
That's kind of my thinking as well. If he doesn't say the Tigers here in a few, I'm going to be heated. Okay. Keep that in mind, Shane. Do we have another Tigers mascot somewhere on here in these picks? I don't know. Anyway. I'm going to rock with Clemson for that reason as well. Their offense is picking up. I still think they're horribly overrated, especially DJ, but I like Clemson in this matchup. Next up, Illinois and Wisconsin. So I'm looking at some stats here. Their defense, both these teams' defenses have played very well this year. Illinois only let up 6 points week 1, or week 0, actually, 20 points against Indiana, 3 against Virginia, and shut out Chattanooga. Meanwhile, Wisconsin, they did, get blown out by Ohio State, but that's Ohio State. And then, only let up a TD versus New Mexico State, 17 points against Washington State, and shut out Illinois State, which is projected. I mean, for the talent that they've been playing, they've been doing pretty well. Wisconsin's currently favored -7. Kind of a tough one to call here. I've been riding Illinois quite a lot this year.
I think Wisconsin's going to have a rebound this week. I've got Wisconsin.
I think that's where I'm leaning
to. I think this is like the first or second time Brett Bielema is going to be back in Wisconsin since he's been away. I would love to go with Illinois, but for some reason I want to agree with you also that Wisconsin's going to have a bounce back game.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, they're going to be down, but they're also going to be in the locker room like, guys, like, we played Ohio State. Like, let's come on now. Like, we were not going to even come close to that game anyways. But I'm going to go, I'm going to go Brett. I'm going to go with a fight in the line. I'm going to go Illinois.
Respect that.
Yeah, Tommy DeVito's a tremendously better quarterback than Mertz. I will go to my grave saying that. The Fighting Illini are going to win this one.
God, you guys make me want to do Illinois. I've rode with them a lot this year. I have rode with them a lot. I'm going to do Clemson, though. I mean, not Clemson, Wisconsin. I was still looking at the Wisconsin
competitor
game.
has entered the field.
Yeah, a whole new team entered the game, baby. Give me Wisconsin in this one.
It's a triple threat match for WWE
Yep,
shit.
there you go. All right, next up, Oregon State going visit 12th ranked Utah.
I was very impressed with Oregon State last week.
Yep.
But Oregon State was at home. They're going on the road.
Yep.
This is going to be technically Utah's first test of the season, and I think they passed this test. I've got Utah.
Yeah, and I agree. I've liked what Oregon State has done this year.
Same.
But at the end of the day, I just don't think they've got the talent that Utah has.
Yep, I agree. Utah.
I want to pick the Beavs so damn bad.
I do too. I do too.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. You know you want to. Come on.
Give me the Beavs, baby. They're gonna beat the Utah. Let's get it. Go Beavs. Let's go, baby.
I need a button on my side over here, Alex, for emotional pick.
Oh yeah.
Emotional pick.
We do need that button because we do have those moments where we just like, all right, this is my one emotional pick for the day. That one was mine. All right, next up, 17th ranked Texas A&M going to visit Mississippi State in shitty Starkville.
Mississippi State. All I'm gonna say, Mississippi State. Go Bulldogs.
Go Aggies.
I'm still sour. Sorry.
Yeah. You know, this is one of those games you just never know because, like I said, Mississippi State looks awesome one week, and then they're losing to a team that they should have beaten. I do not like right, and I do not like Texas A&M's offense. I like Mississippi State's offense a lot better than I do Texas A&M's, but Texas A&M's defense usually gets the job done. And considering Mississippi State is more of a passing team. And I think Texas A&M is going to zero in on that. Give me Texas A&M.
Give me Mississippi State on this one. I like Mississippi State here.
I like their quarterback. I like Will Rogers.
No.
I do too.
All right, next up, Iowa State at Kansas.
Can I please go first? Because because Tyler fucking called me out on this fucking game, I want to do this, okay? And strictly for this fucking reason, I'm gonna go the Baylor Tiger Bears.
Wrong game.
Wrong game.
That's the next game on my list.
No, Iowa State,
Jesus
Kansas.
Christ, people. Freaking Alex over here is picking Clemson in a game we're going to freaking Wisconsin or whatever it is.
And
then you're picking freaking
Baylor.
Baylor.
Know what, dude? I don't give a shit. We're moving on. I'm going Baylor Tiger Bears for that game. The Tiger Bears. Going Tiger Bears.
I'll never forget that where he called them the Baylor Tigers.
The Baylor. Now they're the Baylor Tiger Bears. So.
I'm gonna pick the real team that we're trying to predict here, Shane. And I am sticking with I am sticking with the Kansas Jayhawks. Go Kansas.
Kansas, baby. Not the same old Jayhawks.
Nope. Cyclones.
Wow. Okay.
I'm going with Kansas.
All right. Next up, Georgia Southern at Coastal Carolina.
Coastal Carolina.
I'm feeling Coastal Carolina here too.
Yeah, Coastal Carolina wins this game.
I don't know shit about either team, so let's go home team.
Okay, fair enough. All right, Louisiana Monroe at Arkansas State. Give me Louisiana Monroe. Arkansas State stinks.
They're not as bad as Louisiana Monroe. Arkansas State wins this game.
Nope.
Louisiana Monroe is not. No. Arkansas State will win this game. That, or if Louisiana Monroe wins, they might fire Butch Jones in the middle of the season. So screw it. I'll pick Monroe.
All right.
Damn, you just completely flipped. Arkansas State's winning this one. I'm not flipping.
Screw it. I'm flipping back.
I want to go with the Red Wolves just because Louisiana Monroe beat us in Little Rock and flicked them out.
That was a long time ago. Good
Shane,
Lord.
let it go. All right, next up, Oklahoma at TCU. Give me the Sooners on this one.
Yeah, I think the Sooners bounce back this week.
Yeah,
TCU is a much improved team. I do expect them to be competitive through at least 3 quarters, if not 3.5 quarters. But in the end of the day, I think Oklahoma gets the dub.
Damn, I'm one of those Sooners.
Give me those Horned Frogs.
Oh, okay.
I like it.
Next up, hitting up some FCS play. Holy Cross at Harvard. Holy Cross pretty high ranked in the FCS right now. Harvard currently undefeated. Ivy League just started a couple weeks ago. Harvard's a better team than people realize. Ivy League has some strong competitors. With like Harvard and Princeton being a couple ones that immediately jump off my noggin here. But I think I'm going to rock with Holy Cross in this.
Yeah, let me look up Holy Cross's schedule real quick because they had some pretty good They had a pretty couple of good wins that at least I thought they were good wins. Let me look here. Merrimack, both, of course, they did beat up Yale pretty bad a couple weeks ago.
Yale's struggling right now.
Yeah, and Yale has struggled pretty much. And of course, Yale and Harvard really go back and forth. This game is at Harvard. I know Harvard's played a couple of close games. I want to say Harvard has some. Oh gosh, I'm trying to remember that player's name off the top of my head, but I can't think of it. I think it's their running back. I can't remember his name for nothing. That's pretty good. However, I am going to go to Holy Cross. I think Holy Cross gets the win.
Yeah, I'm going to go Holy Cross too.
Same.
All right, next up, Texas Tech at Kansas State. Give me Kansas State on this one.
Yeah, I would like to take Texas Tech because Texas Tech has been a lot more competitive than what I thought they would have been.
But I love this K-State team.
If I'm going to say this team is the better team, it's Kansas State, so I'll pick Kansas State.
I mean, yeah, I've been kind of riding high on Texas Tech. I've liked what they've done up to this point in the season, but hell, I mean, at this point, Taylor Martinez has grandchildren that he's playing with at Kansas State, so
yeah,
let's go Wildcats.
Yeah, K-State's been my dark horse favorite since about midway through the offseason, this past offseason. I'm going K-State.
All right, Alabama at Arkansas. Bama, move on.
Yep. 21 points.
Come on, guys.
Come on, guys. You know you want to pick Arkansas.
Yeah, come on, do it. Go take that quick.
Go
take that quick L for us in the pool.
I want to remind you, Texas A&M lost to us last year, and then they rebounded and beat Alabama.
Oh, don't even.
Go ahead. You are not that Texas A&M team. You're not that guy, dog.
Take that L.
We beat that Texas A&M team. What are you talking about?
You're not that guy.
Just go ahead and make the pick.
Dear Jesus, listen, God in heaven, thank you, Jesus. Oh, I'm gonna pick Alabama, but please let me eat my words. Please let me eat my words. I'm just begging you one time.
He's not going for his team. He's going for a better record in the pool. Just keep that in mind, Jesus.
Alabama wins.
Shane.
It's okay, Shane.
It's okay, Shane.
Listen. It's okay, Shane.
Man.
Hey, listen. This whole entire segment, it's not about being a homer. It's not about any of those things. It's about going with your gut feeling. You could still be a Razorback fan and pick Alabama to win.
Come on, everybody gets one emotional pick. Come on.
I'm hoping I'm wrong. I am hoping that I eat my words. I picked the Dallas Cowboys to lose to the New York Giants for crying out loud.
Same.
Come on, Shade.
And I ate my words, and I was fine with it.
You know what? But I just can't lose in this poll. I've got to be right. I've got to finish in the top of this poll. So that's why I'm going with the fucking Hogs.
Oh my God! There you go. There you go. He got his emotion.
He did it.
Oh, Shane, I hope you're right, my man. I really hope you're right. I really hope you are.
All right, Kentucky and Ole Miss.
Ooh.
As much as I want Kentucky to lose, I'm going with Kentucky.
Kentucky's defense is pretty stout. Ole Miss has not faced competition yet this year. This is going to be their stiffest competition. Ole Miss's offense has struggled tremendously. They're still figuring things out. This is an Ole Miss team. I think later on in the year you're going to see them beat some teams that they shouldn't beat. But right now it's Kentucky. Kentucky's going to win this game.
I kind of feel bad for Kentucky.
I feel bad for Kentucky. They have a quarterback that puts Miracle Whip in his coffee.
Them and Tennessee are kind of in a situation right now where they're two very, very good teams, but unfortunately they've got Georgia there. But I do think Kentucky is a far better team than what Ole Miss is right now.
True.
From what I've seen. So I'm going to go Kentucky.
Dare I say, I'll pick Kentucky, but dare I say, I think Kentucky might actually win the East.
That's a good deal. I've got Tennessee winning the East, but that is something I have really struggled with.
Like that.
I at the start of the year I had Georgia, and they're still my personal favorite. but I would love to see a good Kentucky team or a good Tennessee team in that game. I think they're a lot closer than what people think to getting to that stage, but right now, in my opinion, Georgia's just too good. I've got to see them pretty much bleed. You know, everybody thinks you're a god until they see you bleed.
Yeah.
I don't think there was enough punishment by Kent State last week to force them to bleed. I still think they had pretty much that game in control the entire time. And so until somebody makes Georgia bleed, and I see some weakness from them, Georgia's gonna stay my favorite. But I still think Georgia and Kentucky and Tennessee are a lot closer than what people think.
We did get everyone locked in their picks for that, right? I didn't miss anyone.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, next up. Youngstown State at North Dakota State. Give me the Bison, baby.
Yeah, North Dakota State should win this ball game. It's just very interesting because Youngstown State, when they had Bo Pelini, I wanted to say that Bo Pelini took them to the semifinals when he was at Youngstown State, but the program's dropped a little bit since then. They're rebounding right now. North Dakota State's going to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've all established this many times. North Dakota State is a little maybe a
They're the Bama.
psychopath
They're the Bama of the FCS.
I mean, that whole school may be full of psychopaths because they just enjoy beating the fuck out of people in the FCS right now. So yeah,
they're bullies. They like being bullies.
Yeah.
Down go the Bison. Youngstown State win this one.
Ooh.
Whoa.
You know
spicy.
they lost to Missouri State. Missouri State put 45 on them, right?
That's spicy. Oh man. Okay.
I like it.
I like it.
Okay.
I like it. All right, next up, last one, but then we'll get to our game of the weeks. All right, San Jose State at Tyler's Dookie Brown, Wyoming Cowboys. And just so I have a little something to go off of here, I'm going with San Jose State, led by former Hawaii quarterback Javon Kaduro. Let's go. Go Spartans.
Yeah, I'm rooting against Tyler's team. Go San Jose State.
Good pick.
Don't worry, I'm going with Wyoming.
No!
I'm gonna join in on the Wyoming hate. So
Let's
go Spartans, San Jose State.
Go Spartans, baby. Let's get it. All right, let's jump into game of the weeks. Kicking things off with FCS game of the week. We have 22nd ranked Richmond Spiders going up against the 23rd ranked Elon Musk Billionaires. Both these teams obviously ranked, and they're in the same division, currently trying to keep up with New Hampshire and Delaware at the moment. How we feeling at this game, boys? I'm going with the Spiders, even though I have brutal arachnophobia.
Yeah, give me the Spiders.
Yeah, I mean, I think Richmond. Who was it? I think it was Virginia. They played very close,
Yep.
but I think it ended up. Yeah, they ended up losing that game. I think by 2 touchdowns or something like that. Elon played Vanderbilt very close. I think I'm gonna go with the home team. I think I'm gonna pick Elon.
The Billionaires, all right.
I'm gonna go with the Spiders.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, bet. Next up, FBS Game of the Week. And Tyler, this is what you were talking about. Yes, it was next on the website. I can't choose the layout. It goes based on when the games start, but I skip around based on what's Game of the Week. Next up, number 9 ranked Oklahoma State going up against Cincinnati Baylor. This is, of course, a rematch of the Big 12 championship from last year, and this will have a huge ripple effect on the rest of the Big 12 for the remainder of the season. I have no idea where to go on this. I know you're going with the Tigers. I know you're going with the Tigers.
Tiger Bears.
I don't know where to go on this, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, Oklahoma State. Of course, Baylor's a little bit banged up. I know they've. In my opinion, I think they've had a little bit of a tougher schedule. This is going to be Oklahoma State's first test of the year. They have not played hardly any. Central Michigan, of course, they struggled against Central Michigan. And then they ended up beating Arizona State. Then they played UAPB. They have not had a very tough schedule at all.
Yeah,
don't really know what they're going to bring to the table. I want to ride with Oklahoma State, but I think Baylor is going to be the better team. I'm gonna pick Baylor.
If Baylor wins this, the Big 12 are out of the running for the playoffs.
They're out of the running anyway. I mean, they're already out of the running.
Oklahoma State's sitting there up in the top 10 right now.
I understand that, but Oklahoma State still has to play Oklahoma. They still have to play Texas. They have to play Texas Tech. They have to go to Kansas State. That's a tough. And they have, of course, speaking of Oklahoma, they have to go to Oklahoma. And I understand that's a rivalry. You could take the record books and shove them out. This is not the same Oklahoma State team that we saw last year. Same with Baylor. Same with Baylor too. But I mean, either way, the Big 12's done.
I'm taking the Cowboys.
I think I'm gonna rock the Cowboys on this one. All right. And lastly, our terrible game of the week: Northern Arizona and Portland State. So Northern Arizona only has one dub. It was against Sam Houston, but then they've gotten the shit beat out of them by Arizona State, who stinks in the FBS. They barely lost North Dakota, who also stinks, and they got blown away by Idaho, who also stinks. Portland State has just gotten the shit beat out of them 3 games in a row, and even more dating back to last year. I really don't know which way to go on this one, honestly. I'm kind of feeling Northern Arizona. The Lumberjacks. Pack it.
Yeah, Northern Arizona should win this. Should win this football game. I'm not saying they're going to, but Northern Arizona should win this. This one. Portland State has been absolute garbage for years. For years they've been garbage, and so yeah, I'm gonna go Northern Arizona.
I'm gonna go Northern Arizona just because I didn't even know they existed, and I'd like to see them win.
Yeah, I'm going with Northern Arizona just specifically because of their mascot.
You know, I'm gonna flip the script just because Tyler made me laugh with the if you lose to Idaho, shut your program down. I'm going Portland State, just because that makes me laugh. So Portland State it is. All right, let's go over to NFL and run through this here real quick. So we'll go look at the leaderboards. Steve's currently at the top, 27-21. Jakub, Shane, and Tyler at 23-25, all tied for second. Ricky, you are 22-26. I'm not doing too hot. Brady's currently at 21-27. I'm 19-29. I'm not doing hot right now. And Iggy are 15-33, so at least I'm not Iggy. At least got that going for me. No, sorry, Iggy. Love you, man. I'm just being real. All right, let's jump into picks, though. Thursday Night Football, Miami at Cincy. How we feeling?
Of course,
I'm gonna go Cincinnati. I'm going Cincy because they're gonna be rocking them fire white Tiger uniforms.
Those white uniforms are sick. I'm going Cincy.
Yeah, give me the Bengals.
Yeah, I mean, because you look at Miami, and of course Miami coming off a big win and everything like that. Cincinnati, they really need to get going. And I still have high expectations for Cincinnati. I'll pick Cincinnati.
Yeah, I'm going Cincy. Tigers.
All right, next up, Minnesota at New Orleans. I'm gonna rock with the Minnesota on this one strictly. I'm gonna go with the mindset that I have with Jacksonville and Indy, where Jacksonville just has Indy's number. Kirk Cousins has New Orleans' number, so I'm gonna go with Minnesota on this one. Until I'm proven otherwise.
Yeah, I think it's very difficult for Justin Jefferson to have 2 bad games straight in a row, and he was definitely held in check last week. I don't think that happens again, so I'm going to Minnesota.
Yeah, New Orleans, they're really struggling. They've got to figure out a way to really get going. Minnesota, on the other hand, not the best with road games. Give me New Orleans.
Minnesota.
LA at Houston. I low-key want to pick Houston here, but I'm gonna lock in the Chargers. I think they're gonna have a bounce back.
Yeah, I'm gonna lock in the Chargers too.
Chargers to win.
Jacob, did you pick?
For Chargers in Houston?
Yeah.
It's gonna be Houston.
Oh.
I like it.
Okay, spicy. All right, next up, Chicago at the Giants. Let me pick first so everyone can pick opposite of me because I can never pick the Bears right, so you get automatic dub. I'm thinking the Bears are going to win this game. I'm locking in the Bears.
All right, for that reason, I'm going to go Giants. Thank you for the W. Appreciate it.
You're welcome, man. Got you.
Chicago starts off 3-1. Give me Chicago.
The Giants start out 3-1. Give me the Giants.
All right, Seattle, Detroit, easy. Give me the Lions, baby.
Yeah,
Easy.
let's move on.
Yep, Lions. Come on. No. Don't you dare.
What's wrong with Geno Smith?
Don't you dare.
I love Geno Smith.
Don't you dare.
I hate Seattle. I hate Pete Carroll. He's a criminal.
Don't you dare.
What coach isn't?
Yeah. The only difference between that is the ones that get caught.
True. Bill Belichick.
Yeah, for real.
Don't do it.
I really want to pick Seattle here. I really, really, really do. But I'm not. I'm picking the Lions.
All right, good. Shane?
Yeah, I mean, I wish I got to catch the Seattle game, but I didn't. So I don't really know how they're filling out.
They stink. That's the bottom line.
Well, only reason I want to see how Kobe Bryant is doing, if he's even playing, and then also K9. I want to see how K9's been doing, but
now he has been doing bad. That I do know because I have him on one of my fantasy teams.
But yeah, I'm going Lions.
Jacksonville at Philly. This is a game that I'm really excited to watch.
I think it's going to be a really, really good game. But in my opinion, Philadelphia is a top 3 in the NFL right now. And you could possibly be an argument that they could be number 1 team in the NFL right now. But I did pick them to win their division. I'm going Eagles.
This one, I really want to pick Jacksonville to win this game too, but I also know Philly has done very, very well so far. So far this season. Let me see what the line is on this one. The 6.5. That's a little bit of disrespectful. Jaguars did come off a big road win. I think they slowed down just a tad bit this week. I'm gonna go Philly. I hope I'm wrong though.
After this week, the undefeateds will be no more. Jacksonville takes this one. Duval!
Give me Duval, baby. Doug Peterson's about to beat the Eagles. Let's get it, man. Trevor Lawrence is having his Peyton Manning level second year. Shitty rookie year, coming back to a Peyton Manning level second year. It's going to be great. Jacksonville's going to win this game, and the undefeated teams will all go down. That's what we're here for. Jets at the Steelers. Give me the Steelers.
I am gonna go with the New York Jets. Just simple as that. I think for some reason, they're gonna win this game.
So I guess I can't say
don't know. I have no explanation for it. I just feel like they're gonna win this game, and it's gonna be on the way for Kenny Pickett starting by week 5. So
I have an explanation. The explanation that you can't give. The New Jersey Jets will win this because of the man, the myth, the legend, Joe Flacco.
Big Dick Joe, baby. The real Big Dick Joe.
I've got the Jets winning too. Pittsburgh's offense is just way too depleted. New York, the Jets can at least score.
Give me the Jets as well. Let's just ride with it. I did have the Steelers, but let's just ride with the Jets, baby. Jets, Jets. And Miami is undefeated, but we're all calling for Miami to lose against Cincy, Tyler. Next up, Cleveland at Atlanta. You know, give me Cleveland on this, actually. Give me Cleveland.
Yeah, I mean, I think even with Jacoby Brissett, Cleveland's just a better team.
Yeah, Bubba's been playing some decent football, though, guys. What's going on here?
Decent is not better than good.
I mean, I'd rather ride with him than Deshaun Watson. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, I got Cleveland win this game.
Tennessee at Indy.
To me, this is a battle of teams that have underperformed up to this point. But I think Tennessee bounces back. I think Derrick Henry probably has a pretty big game this week.
Yeah, I'm gonna flip it. I've got Indy.
I think I'm gonna rock with Indy on this one. I think they're gonna be riding the high.
Give me the Titans.
Ooh, okay. Washington at Dallas. Give me Cooper Rush. Give me that guy. He's gonna be the MVP of the league.
Hey yo.
Oh my gosh.
If that's the case, I'm gonna throw fucking long neck in there.
Calm down.
Top 2 candidates gonna be.
Calm
Cooper
down.
Rush
You're
and
gonna
long
get
neck.
you're gonna get Tyler excited.
There are 2 teams for sure that I am 0-3 when predicting games so far, and Dallas is one of them. I'm getting this one right, damn it. Dallas wins this game.
Oh God, Jacob, I'm assuming you're gonna rock with Dallas.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, all right. Also, I want to shout out one tweet that I saw that someone put out there where they said Cooper Rush better be careful. If he keeps playing like this, he's going to be the Carolina Panthers quarterback.
Just because Ricky is 0-3 when calling Dallas games and you pick Dallas, I'm gonna go Washington.
I respect it. I respect it.
Read between the lines, Shane. Read between the lines.
All right, big matchup. Buffalo at Baltimore. Big matchup. Big matchup.
Buffalo rebounds this week. Give me Buffalo.
Yeah, give me the Bills. Give me the Bills.
Yeah, it's not going to be nearly as close as people are thinking it's going to be. Give me Buffalo.
Yeah, I want to see a good game, but then at the end of the day, the Bills are still my favorite team in the NFL as far as the best team in the NFL. So I'm still gonna go with the Bills, even without Carlos Hyde.
Micah Hyde.
Hyde, whatever his freaking name is.
Arizona at Carolina. Give me the Cardinals.
Yeah, I'm going to rock with the Cardinals too. But on the other hand, Shane, if you want to go ahead and pick against me, I am 0-3 for the Carolina.
Shane, keep rocking with it.
I'll just wait till you pick, then I'll make my pick.
I did make my pick, Arizona.
Okay. Fuck it. I guess I'm rolling with Iggy, and we're going black and blue this week, baby. Let's go Panthers.
Yep, let's go Panthers.
All right. Next up, Denver and Vegas, the battle of the sucks. How we feeling here?
To me, in order for me to pick you to win, you have to win a game first. So for being 0-3, I'm gonna go Denver. Let's go Broncos. Let's ride.
Let's ride to a 2-2 record. Let's go Vegas.
I 100% agree with you, Jacob. Vegas wins this game.
Give me Vegas as well. Mark Davis had a nice sit-down chat with Josh McDaniel talking about, how he's not bringing him his toys and stuff. So I feel like Josh McDaniel's going to get his act together, and, they're going to get this dub. Next up, New England and Green Bay. Give me Green Bay. Mac Jones has some injury issues. While I don't know who they're starting. I don't know if it's going to be Hoyer or the greatest college quarterback in history, Bailey Zappi. But assuming it's not Zappi, that's automatically a New England loss to me. Give me Green Bay.
It'll be Hoyer. I guarantee it'll be Hoyer.
I know.
Maybe New England should just trade and get your boy Garner Minshew.
Minshew Mania!
Minshew Mania, baby!
Let's let it run wild somewhere.
Green Bay wins this game.
I'm still all for Minshew Mania in Seattle. That's what I want to see.
That'd be great.
But yeah, I mean, I've seen rumors of Cam Newton is back visiting New England. Don't know if they're going to sign him just for this game or whatever.
Get out of here.
But at the end of the day, I'll have to agree with Alex. Since it's not Bailey Zappi, it's going to be Brian Hoyer. I'm going to go with the Cheeseheads in Green Bay.
KC and Tampa Bay.
Hold on. Give me the Patriots.
Oh, I thought you made your pick. I'm sorry.
What?
Dude,
the Patriots, though. Okay.
Gotta prove you guys all wrong.
Okay.
Brian Hoyer's about to get that dub.
All right. Sunday Night Football. KC at Tampa. Give me KC.
If this were the playoffs, I'm picking Tom Brady. But it's not the playoffs. It's the regular season. Give me Kansas City.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to agree. Give me Kansas City.
Give me Tampa Bay.
Ooh. I will say, I'm actually pretty excited to watch this game. So a little background on this. Sunday is when I will actually get to Orlando, and that night I'm going to Universal City Walk. It's just like a big area with a lot of restaurants, shopping center, different stores and shit. It's right outside Universal Studios, right across the bridge from it. And there they have it's NBC for Sunday Night Football, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. They have a giant NBC sports bar restaurant, and with that, outside the building is a massive jumbotron, and you can just walk around City Walk, and they'll play like Sunday Night Football and stuff. So I'm actually pretty excited to check out that game at City Walk. It's gonna be pretty sweet. Anyway, now that story's done. Let's move on to Monday Night Football. Rams at San Fran. Does San Fran bounce back? Is Rams gonna get it together? How we feeling?
I really want to pick San Fran to win this game. I really do.
I'll do it for you,
Just
San Fran.
Because I mean, I have really I really want to. I really want to. It's a Monday Night Football game, and I like Jimmy Garoppolo. Yeah, I got San Fran.
You know, I really want to pick San Fran too, but I think the Rams bounce back and get this win on Monday night.
Yep, the Rams win.
Okay, all right. That is all of our picks. Ran through it beautifully, as we always do. All right, boys, any last thoughts on stuff? Yeah, we're 2 hours in, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this bad boy up. Anything you want to shout out for any upcoming games or anything?
No, I'm all good, Chief.
I'm good.
I just hope we don't get killed this weekend.
Yeah.
Go Razorbacks. Go Razorbacks. Blue pick soon.
He's so
points.
defeated already. All right.
Right now, I think I saw it. Bama's like a 17.5 point favorite. I'm gonna pick Arkansas to cover that.
Okay.
And hope and pray that we do. So,
Okay.
we'll pick.
Hit the music. We're going to work our way out of here. Once again, I will not be here on the show next week. They will be holding it down. Zach, my co-host over at AniMan Plus and Gamesthetic, will start off the show just because he'll be here at the house to start everything up for us. And then after that, the boys will take over and do the show. I might pop in if I've got time on my second account because my primary one will be here for the show. So I may pop in, say hi, see what's going on. But enjoy the boys next week. Boys, you got this. It's going to be great. I can't wait to watch. I am so excited to watch you guys hold down the fort next week. I think it's going to be awesome. I'm here for it.
I mean, let's be real. Last time you weren't able to make a show, I ended up posting it with Tyler, and
the music thing kills me.
That, the talk was great. Production was horrible. I was not given a ran through on how stuff works. So that's the producer issue, not on me.
Producer issue.
It is. No, like as soon as he's starting the show, I'm watching it, and Tyler was sitting there with me, and I'm just like, as we're getting closer to the music, build up, I'm like, he's not going to turn down the music, is he? And it's just like, yo, welcome to Terror Football Show, and the music's just blasting. And then he turns it down. He's like, oh, wait, I forgot to turn down the music. No, it's going to be great. Zach's got it. He knows how to work this thing. I think he should. It's going to be great. You guys got it. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait to watch. I'll see you guys in a couple weeks. I'll see everyone that is watching the show a couple weeks, which hopefully here in a couple weeks we'll reveal to the world our ATFS jerseys that I revealed to the boys here earlier in the show. Got their live reaction. Can't wait for everyone to see it. The jerseys look sick. You're all going to love it. Can't wait to launch the full store. With that said, thank you so much for listening to a Terror Football Show. See you guys in a couple of weeks. Enjoy the games this weekend. Enjoy the boys next week. Bye.